You're listening to the Boxing Coalition.
And he just broke the guy's heart. The guy had nothing left, and he knew he couldn't last another 4 or 5 rounds.
Ricky Wars just smashed his soul.
What it is, let's get it.
Fuck that, this your chance, nigga. You hear me?
Let's get it.
Go kick his motherfucker.
Get that motherfucker in there.
Let's see you do this. Little step back, bang, bang, bang. Little step back, bang, bang.
Bang, 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 bang. Try and stop it. Bang, bang. Here I come. Bang. You want to throw sometime? Bang.
Body shot. Boom, 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 boom. And go to the body. Kill that body. You took his nuts, now you gotta take his heart.
Yeah, take his whole soul away.
Yeah, get out of here, Dale. I'll see you later. Find someone credible. Get out of here.
He was higher than a motherfucker. I'll tell you, he was stoned as fuck.
No, it's only a majority decision if there was an even score. There's no even score here. You're an official, right? You're an official of the state. Well, then you don't understand how to score.
Oh, my God. Unbelievable. The crowd here on Fuego.
He's ready to be whooped, man. He's ready to be whooped. He's ready to be whooped.
Acosta stopped it. Wow. That is going to be controversial.
But you really liked to stand toe-to-toe with him in the 12th round, even if you thought you won the fight.
It was on. Did you like that?
I love it.
Hello, and welcome to the Boxing Coalition, a place to discuss anything boxing. We have a rotating panel of hosts that consist of Chemo, Mao Alpha, Cam, Daniel Lim, and MV Chu. If you want to have your say, call in on Skype. Just add Box Coalition and get involved in the show.
Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of the Boxing Coalition. My name's Cam. Joining me tonight are Black Ski Mask Joe, Mao Alpha, Dave the Sinister, and Ari Gold. Before we get into the boxing, we just need to mention that it's the birthday of a boxing superstar today, so happy birthday to him, and we have him on the line. Are you there?
Sí, ¿cómo están todos? Aquí mando saludos a Tetak, al Pedro Figueroa. It's nice to be on the show, the Boxing Coalition. Y la próxima, ustedes saben, cuando llegue la pelea de Pedro Figueroa, yo vengo a poner un show.
How's Rebecca, pero? How is Rebecca? Is she safe?
She's doing pretty good, you know, away from the narcotraficantes, but yeah, she's pretty good.
Okay, El Perro, happy birthday to you. We've got to get on with the show.
Thank you very much, Cam, and hopefully you guys have a good show.
Thank you. Let's get on to this card.
First of all, Cam, who's that chick? I mean, the chick from the intro.
Yo, Dave the Sinister hooked us up with a hot chick to do the intro, so shout out to Dave. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave, man.
No problem.
But let's get into this boxing. Let's get into this upset. How did Salka beat Danny Garcia, Dave? How did this come about?
Well, I have to say, it was a clear-cut robbery. Definitely a robbery. I mean, Salka was moving all throughout that ring. He was making Danny miss left and right. Clear-cut. Can't tell me otherwise. Salka got robbed.
Yeah, like those judges were paid off. If Teddy Atlas was there, he would have like maybe strangled the judges if he got close to him, because you know how he can kick off. But Salka, man, do you feel sorry that he got robbed by Danny Garcia?
Of course, man. I mean, I was impressed on how slick Salka was, and he was employing that dirty tactic that Chavez was using against Rios, and he was clinching a lot. I mean, he never let Danny make his game. I mean, I was impressed. I mean, I honestly want.
Yeah.
You also forgot him poking his eyes like the fucking Three Stooges.
Yeah, well, you gotta do it.
Yeah, but Ski Mask, like, what did you think of Salka's performance?
Oh man, I mean the guy was superb, man. I mean he went for the body, which you know me, man. I'm the guy that likes watching these motherfuckers go at it in the body. But he was doing a pretty good job. He landed those nice clean uppercuts, but I just didn't appreciate when he was doing the holding. He was kind of poking him in the eyes. You could kind of see the scared face of Danny Garcia running around, fucking scared. And then when Angel Garcia would get in the corner and scream at him, Danny, you got to get to implement the jab, Danny. You could just see the fucking desperation out of Angel Garcia.
Yeah, right. Let's quit the facade.
I know, right? All the listeners are like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, all the listeners are thinking, "What the fuck were they watching?" But I'll just give my 2 cents. I don't really want to linger on this subject for too long, but my 2 cents was Danny Garcia was in a no-win situation. If he knocks Salka out early, which he did, people are going to say that's what he was supposed to do. If he goes long with Salka and has like 7-8 rounds, people are going to say he was troubled by a bum. Danny's trash. So he was kind of in a no-win situation. I almost kind of feel sorry for him because it's like, well, what could he do? You know, he's damned if he does, he's damned if he doesn't. But yeah.
What he could do is when he gets presented these fucking contracts, just say no. I want a better opponent. That's what he could do. But what? If this guy wants to go the route of getting easy money, fuck it. I can't knock him for that. You know what I mean? It's a hard business, man. You don't want to fucking all the time fight real good top competing fighters, that could fucking possibly hurt you and damage you, Fuck it. Face a bump from time to time and get that easy payday. But come on, man. A guy that was ranked number 77, at least a guy that's in the 25. I wouldn't cut you that much slack. I wouldn't shit on you that bad. But a guy at number 77 with 3 knockouts, and I think he had like a 19 pro fight, it's like, what the fuck, man? And then not only that, but you're having the guy move up in weight too? That's kind of unfair, man.
And
you could have possibly like really fucking hurt this guy, dude. I mean, other than that, he put on a good performance. He showed some nice, movements and all this shit, but it was expected, man. The guy's ranked 77. It's like fucking Cotto fighting Edward Rodriguez, man.
No, you make some good points. Key Mask, and like King J's in the chat saying like, why do I feel sorry for Danny? Like, just because like he was in a difficult situation, like. But you made a good point about you shouldn't take the fight and all that. But and you gave the answer as well in your reply that if you're getting 700k to fight an easier position, like. If someone gives you 700k Ski Mask, you're going to take that money. It's easier money than fighting a beast and getting possibly hurt and damaged. So, yeah. But, man, what did you think about this?
I think my easier route would just snatch that money and just run and not fight at all.
Well, you are called Ski Mask Joe, so that's in your MO, really. So, yeah. But, man, what did you think about the whole Danny situation and Salka situation?
I mean, I agree with Ski Mask, but I think that, Danny's father is sometimes he contradicts himself because he was saying against Herrera that Danny couldn't make the weight. Danny was, struggling to make the weight, so his performance was not the best in Puerto Rico. So now they decided to fight one more fight at 140, where he previously said that he wanted to fight at 147 because he was struggling to make the weight. And now, because the WBC decided that no titles were at stake, they decided to make it this fight at 142. Then why don't and they are saying that this fight it's like the previous fight before moving to 147, like they are making a transition for Danny to make that weight even better. But they are talking also about making another fight at 140. So I don't see what they are. I don't see a clear path for Danny in his next fight. I don't think that they are going to do, because I think that if this fight was against another maybe journeyman at 147, then no one would have complied about that fight, because it was supposed to be Danny's first fight at 147. So, it's understandable to have an easy fight when you decide to move up in weight, to get more comfortable, make your diet and see how you're going to make to that day to the weight. So, but there was no point in doing this fight. I think that there was another opponents. They were talking about Joan Perez to fight Matisse, but that didn't happen. So why don't choose that guy for fighting Danny Garcia? I think that there were a lot of options. I don't know why they decided to go with Rod Salka. And, the whole card was just BS. I was disappointed, but in terms of performance, he did what he was supposed to do. So that's the only thing that I give credit to Danny for. And Salka, well, he he died like a man. I give credit to Salka too, because he was like, going toe to toe with Danny, and he died like a man. So
yeah,
it's okay.
I didn't like that last hook that Salka took, man, because that was a heavy blow. But I was really pissed off with the referee. Like, the referee should have stopped the fight after the second knockdown.
Yeah, because the first time that Salka went down, he was like down for 9 seconds and a half. It was almost 10 seconds. The second time too, and he said in the post-fight interview that he was okay, but I don't agree with that at all. And, Skimas was also making a good point in terms of you put in a guy that's not supposed to be there against a killer. So that guy, in this fight was Salka, he could have been really hurt. I mean, I remember when Fortuna fought against Samudio and he knocked him out in one round. It was a dangerous fight for the guy. So, matchmakers should be aware of this, because something bad could happen to the underdog in this type of fights.
Yeah.
And you know what the crazy thing is? Speaking on the subject about the referee, you could tell his reaction. He was just cringing throughout the whole fight. I don't know if you guys caught that, but he was just cringing when they were in the pocket right before he got knocked out cold. Like, you could tell that he really wanted to jump in, but he wanted to give Salka at least a chance, maybe because the fight was still too early. But man, you could just tell that he really wanted to just jump in there, man. Fuck, that was just damn. Like, just watching boxing nowadays, like, we've been hearing fights like Magomed and then other fighters dying in Mexico and shit like that. Just imagine if this motherfucker would have died, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was a hard hit.
Yeah, I totally agree, Skimas.
Yeah.
But, Joe and Dave, what's your opinion?
Now, I agree with pretty much everything all of you guys said, but I'm not sure if it was Mao or if it was Joe that said there was no point to this. There was a point to this fight. And I believe Herrera and all the bullshit that everybody's talking on Twitter has affected Danny's confidence. Because if you see, right after he knocked Salka out, he had like a team. Like, I can't even tell you how many people. There were like 8 guys all run, start patting him on the back like, oh, good job, champ. Good job. You kidding me? Nah, you shouldn't be patting him on the back. You shouldn't be giving him any kind of credit or props for this in any way, shape, or form. And one thing I ask everybody, if you're willing to go back and look, go watch after Salka gets up and he goes over to Angel Garcia's corner. You look at Angel Garcia's face. All he keeps saying is thank you over and over and over. And you can see the guilt in that man's eyes.
Yeah.
Clear as day.
Yeah, I watched that again today, and he Angel looked almost guilty, like, oh, look what we did to this kid, man. It's a kind of fucked up situation. But any more points, Dave, before I just go on to someone else?
Nah, I'm over this already.
All right, let's go to...
I'm so happy, Ari. You've made me very happy. I hope you're happy too.
Do I look happy?
Mr. Gold.
What's up?
What's your thoughts on Danny Salka? I know it probably won't last long, but what was your opinion?
I didn't see, If I want to see bullying, I'll go to a playground.
You watched it, man. Stop talking shit.
Yeah, I watched it in the morning.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. What was your opinion on it?
It was what it was, man. It wasn't fun to watch. That hook was... Yeah, man, that hook out, I don't know, man. Yeah, you're just beating up on a little guy, man. Just to make like Dave said, the fight was just to make him feel good and try and get some of that confidence back. Because obviously the Herrera, I'll say a loss because I thought I had it 7-5 Herrera. The Herrera loss, obviously, you took it out of him. You beat Matisse and you think you're like king of the world, king of your division. Then some unknown guy comes and beats you in your home country when you're trying to gain your fans, of the Puerto Ricans that, it's your first time going there or whatever. And you kind of, you lost in front of your guys. So obviously, Soul was a bit taken. He tried to get it back by beating up on a lightweight.
Well, a lightweight.
On a lightweight that we don't even know. There's no excuse for this kind of fight, and simple as that.
Yeah, a lightweight that was brought up to 140, and I had the argument with Dan yesterday saying, well, Khan brought Molina up to 140, but this fight was like 142, so he brought him...
Khan was coming off a knockout loss.
Exactly, and like this is 2 pounds like a catch weight, so it was over 140. Like bringing Salka up 7 pounds, you know, and Danny's like everything was in the favour of Danny for this fight, everything. But yeah, let's just move on. Lamont Peterson, man, that fight was pretty boring to me, man. I was watching it, but like, you know, when your attention goes other way, like your phone starts popping up and you start looking at your phone and you just hear the commentator say, oh, da, 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 da. But I'm a fan of Peterson. I like Peterson. I like his backstory. I know all that shit shouldn't really count, but from what he came from and where he's become, like, it is a rags to riches tale. It's just I don't like when he's fighting guys and he starts showboating. Like, you only do that if you like dropping the guy or stunning the guy heavily, and you know you're just dominating him. Where he did dominate Santana, but like, there's no need to showboat because you're not really putting hands on him like that. Like, Santana's a weak opposition. Like, you're just looking bad yourself, in my opinion. But Mal, what did you think of Peterson's performance against Santana?
I mean, the guy dominated Santana. I mean, Santana bring no danger in this fight, and I think that's what all 3 opponents had bringing this fight into this car. I mean, I'm talking about Santana, Fletcher, and Salka. Both, I mean, all of these guys bring no power. They had no possibility of outboxing the rivals. So it was, I think that I started to watch that fight from the 3rd round because it wasn't on TV previous. The first 2 rounds were not on TV, but I don't think that I gave a round to Santana. He was just there to be hit. Like you said, Cam, Peterson was just showboating because he didn't have the power to take him out. And so I think that he was maybe, I don't know, gaining some rounds. I mean,
you could say it, Mal. He was a punching bag.
He was a punching bag, but I mean, the last fight, the last Peterson fight was against Dory John, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was 10 times better fight than this one because Dory John was at least bringing some danger in the other rounds. But yeah. I don't know. This fight was nothing. I think that it didn't make anything for Peterson. And I mean, I like and I don't like Peterson because he's always a fighter. I mean, he likes to brawl. He likes to out-hustle his rivals, but he talks like he's the real champ or a champion, but he lost against Matisse in 3 rounds. So you can keep talking about you like you are the champ. First of all, you got to rematch Matisse and then fight Danny Garcia if you want to be the real champ. So I don't know why he's talking about fighting directly against Danny Garcia.
You know what the crazy thing is? Speaking on that subject of who's the champ and who isn't, was shout out to the Boxing Voice. You know, a couple of the comments that they made about how Angel Garcia said that belt should have been there a long time ago, to the Khan fight and then fighting Matisse and all that shit. Yeah, I understand that whole concept. But in reality, you don't have the fucking belt. So why the fuck don't you just fight Lamont Peterson, get it over with, man? You know, and then see if you hold down all the belts, you know, and then you could, probably move up to 147. Or you could just move up to 147 now. But I mean, there's so many fights you could do right now. You could do the Lamont Peterson fight. You could do the Broner fight, which I want to touch on, man. That subject, because Broner. Dude, I think he had more attention on this fucking telecast than the whole fucking fights itself. Everybody was talking about fucking Broner, you know?
I think his shirt stole the show, though.
I know, right? His fucking his gold shirts and his gold tee. Yeah. Fucking even Polly was trying to clown. He was like, his teeth match his shirt.
Yeah. But, Dave, Lamont Peterson, I know that you actually fell asleep during this fight, so I guess you've not got much to say about it.
Not much at all, and I don't really care enough to go back and watch it, so.
That's understandable. Ari, you got any thoughts about Lamont against Santana?
I barely saw any of it. I went to watch it and then I realized what the fight was going to be, and I don't like Peterson, so I skipped to the end and saw the stoppage, and I'll say one thing. It looked like the commission was stopping fights in this event, because it looked like the commission stopped this fight. It wasn't Peterson's corner. I mean, it wasn't Santana's corner. It wasn't the ref. It was the commissioner or one of the commission guys stood up on the ropes and stopped the fight. And the same thing happened. It looked like it happened in the Jacobs fight as well, where these guys, this commission was stopping fights, even though the ref or nothing would tell them to stop him. And it's kind of weird. I've never really seen that before.
Yeah. Are you sure it was the commission guy, Ari?
I'm sure it was the commission guy.
I thought the doctor stopped it.
It's hard to tell. It could have been the doctor, like they all suited and booted.
So. I don't know.
I think it was a doctor. I think it was a doctor.
But I don't know, because I didn't really watch the fight. But I saw someone suited up. You know what I mean? I thought he was the commission or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that the corner should tell the doctor that they want to stop the fight, and the doctor stop the fight, or something like that happens.
If a guy who's on the match is getting beat down because he shouldn't be in the ring, then that's what happens, isn't it? So
that's kind of crazy. Sorry, but they actually in this whole fight, the doctor. I don't know if it's just in New York, but the doctors could stop the fights. I thought they just gave their opinion, and it's just up to the ref if they stop the fight. But damn, that they gave the power actually to the docs. I mean,
yeah, you don't see that in Vegas and LA.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy because
No, occasionally you do. You do.
Because it's kind of crazy because I know sometimes we see fighters that get their eyes cut, but some doctors usually just let it slide. Like, okay, fuck it, he got a cut eye. What do you want to do? This is a fucking sport, But
he's getting punched in the face. What do you expect?
But let's say you get one of those pussy doctors that's just like, fuck, man, stop the fight.
He's got a paper cut. Stop the fight.
Yes. Sometimes doctors, they're trying to cover their ass. They don't want a fighter to get injured on their watch because they know it's going to be them that they get that takes the blame.
Yeah, I was going to move on. I was going to move on to Nota. Nota, what do you think about this? At the moment, we've touched on Lamont and Danny, but what's your thoughts about this card?
Well, I mean, the card. I mean, matchup-wise, paper-wise, it was whack. But, I mean, to be honest, I didn't mind seeing the knockouts. I mean, it was fun. I like a good knockout here and there. The Danny Jacobs knockout was pretty cool, but I thought he took a little bit long to get it. He was being a little too patient with him. And he probably could have gotten it earlier if he had really chosen his punches better. But it's almost like he was punching at the dude's guard too much. He wasn't setting his shots up well enough. Which to me,
maybe he wanted to go rounds.
When he's fighting, yeah, I mean that's possible too. But yeah, he just got to make sure he doesn't do that against somebody like Quillen though, because I mean him and Quillen, that's a real fight if he happens to get that, because I know he called it out, and I definitely want to see that fight. But he's definitely got to be a bit more choosy about throwing those punches if he has Quillen hurt, because Quillen will still be throwing power back at his ass. As for Lamont, I mean, Lamont pretty much had easy work in there. That dude was a moving heavy bag. That's pretty much what that was. It was literally like Lamont hitting a heavy bag. Like, if they just did 9 rounds of bag work, I'm sure it'd probably look just like that. So, I mean, that guy was just taking punishment. So, I mean, I could see why they stopped it there, because, I mean, that guy had no chance of winning by the last couple of rounds. He pretty much didn't even throw any punches. And then Danny Garcia, man, that shit reminded me of Arturo Gatti versus Joey Gamache. And it was kind of funny. I mentioned that fight way earlier. Like, when I saw the weigh-in between Danny and Salka, I said, damn, it reminds me of Gatti Gamache. Because I remember it was a whole big controversy, because that's when New York started banning the fight night weigh-ins. Because Gatti and the New York Commission wound up getting sued by Gamache, because Gatti knocked Gamache out so brutally, just like Salka got knocked out, that Gamache actually sued him after the fact, and Gatti had been 17 pounds heavier than him on fight night or something like that. He was 160 and Gamache was 150, or not 144 or something. So I mean, it was just a crazy weight difference, and not just a weight difference, but a class difference. Because the thing is, when you have a weight difference and a class difference and a power difference, you have every advantage stacked on top of itself. It's it's gonna be just brutality, basically the way Danny did him. And not even in a way where it's the guys evenly matched. The whole thing of Matisse and Peterson, that was supposed to be even on paper match, and then Matisse just blew him out there brutally. But nah, this shit was something else, man. This was this was a schoolyard fight, the 6th grader taking on the third grader and just wasting him.
Yeah, you just expected like people stood up around the ring saying get him, like it was a schoolyard fight. But we got Kevin Horn on the line. Kevin, you there?
Yo,
just
what y'all want to know?
What you want to know?
What you want to know?
Fuck y'all want to know?
Yo, but yeah, the doctors stopping the fight in New York. You got to understand, since that Mago incident, New York's getting a lot more stricter actually in who the commission approves for fights. They're more. It's tougher for fighters to get guys on short notice. The commission's not approving fighters, and certain injuries that I know they didn't let Tapia fight recently. I know like Youssef Mack was trying to get commissioned one time. I don't know if he got approved because it was short notice. So, after that, I think the New York commission's going to err on the side of caution. So I'm surprised they didn't even stop the Salka fight beforehand, because they probably should have stopped that as soon as the first punch was thrown, because that shit was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But when you compare Salka to Molina and Mir Khan, I mean, Molina, even though they're both coming up from 135, neither one of them was a real contender. Molina's a lot more competent opponent and a lot more sturdy and bigger opponent. Like, Salka just looked like a midget next to Garcia at the weigh-in. It was awful. Like, it was bad. But, I don't know, the Peterson fight. I like watching Peterson fight. Peterson gets
at least Carlos
fights.
Molina was ranked.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He was ranked at
it's
the
not
lower
even
weight.
a
Rod
comparison.
Salka wasn't even ranked at the lower weight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when you compare that, it's really not a comparison, because that's how bad Salka is. Like, that Carlos Molina is that much of a class above. But Peterson, I mean, I like the Derry John fight. This fight, like you said, was just bag work, but I don't know. I don't have any reason not to like Peterson. I'd like to see him in another fight soon. I think he makes for entertaining, fun fights. And there's a guy who is a long fighter, but he likes to get on the inside and bang and trade shots. And it's basically, classic, old school inside fighting. Like, no clinches, just stand there and bang. And I'm all for that at any time they show it. So I'm interested to see what fight he gets next.
Yeah. I didn't have time to catch the Saddam Ali fight, but I did catch the Zachary Ochoa versus Alberto Cervantes fight. Nota, how did you score this fight? What was just because?
I actually, you want me to pull out my scorecard? I had it even, man. I had it even in the end.
I had it even as well. I had 3 rounds apiece, but when I heard the judges' scorecard, I was disgusted, man.
I actually had I had Ochoa losing.
No, I don't even mind that Kevin Horn, because there were a few very close rounds, especially in the second half of the fight, because it was only a 6-rounder. But there's no way
Ochoa lost, man. That's some bullshit, dude.
There was no way that was
a body punch guy, so that might be why, But
well, that's the thing. Rounds 2 and 3 were really close. Round 1 was a clear Ochoa round.
Yeah.
And then 3 was a bit, I'd say Ochoa was doing pretty good in that round too. But then the last 2 rounds, man, that was. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go for it.
No, I was gonna say the last 2 rounds was all
Cervantes.
What's his name again? Cervantes. Yeah. The last 2 rounds was all Cervantes, man. Ochoa was tiring out like a motherfucker.
Shit, you know how we do in New York? Straight sweep. Ochoa by sweep.
I would have been happy with a draw, man, because this was one of those fights that was kind of like even throughout the whole time, and it was a lot of toss-up rounds, man. But you know what? Just the fucking judges' scorecards, man. That was so fucking pitiful, dude. All of them for Ochoa, dude. Not one fucking...
not one round.
Yeah, like, what the fuck, dude? So the other guy was doing a lot of work, too, man. Come on. That was some fucking bullshit.
That right after that fight, that scorecards was right before the Ali fight, and I was like, wow, there's no chance that this guy Ryan's going to get a decision after seeing those scorecards.
Yeah, man.
Ryan almost got it, though.
I was surprised. I thought that was scored, okay.
Yeah, that was all right. But you know what? Are we talking about the Saddam Ali fight?
Yeah, jump ahead. Go ahead.
Jump on it.
Oh, my God, man. Who caught this fucking fight, man?
I watched it.
All right.
I did. I think most of us did, man.
Do you think because he just stepped up on opposition, he looked he didn't even look good, man? I'm used to seeing Saddam Ali fucking dominating fighters, man. But in this fight, he was like not doing it, man. And then his defense fucking sucked. He was taking a lot of unnecessary fucking punches, dude. To be honest,
he's wide open to the jab, man. Wide open for the jab. Just the straight jab down the center.
But I don't even think it was the jab. I think it was like the fucking hook that was getting him, right?
No, that's true.
He was trying to counterpunch the whole fight. Yeah.
He drops his right hand really bad, especially when he's trying to throw that uppercut from the outside, which is the worst possible way to throw an uppercut. Unless you've got like super speed, you do not want to be throwing an uppercut from outside like that because you're wide open for a left hook.
Yeah, man. Because I was thinking like, where the fuck does this guy go next, man? Because if he's going up in competition, dude, he has to step up his fucking defense, man. If this guy wants to be a fucking household name, this dude has to step up on his defense, man. And I mean, the power's there, but it's just the defense, man. I honestly felt like he was a little slow. His defense wasn't there that night. Man, with a name like that, man, you think he would dominate the whole fucking thing, man. That's like a fucking strong name, man. Saddam. When I hear that name, I think of Hussein. Saddam Hussein, baby, you know? Just dominate motherfuckers, man.
Yo, be careful, man. You might get Homeland Security into this.
The crazy thing is Jeremy Bryan's been knocked out several times before.
He's only got 3 losses, so I don't know if he's been knocked out several times.
Yeah, they were all 3. He has 4 losses now, but yeah, all his other 3 losses were by knockout, man.
Yeah, because I happen to know a little bit about the guy. He's actually known for being pretty much like a gym warrior around here. Like, gives very good work. And Ness mentioned his amateur background, like fights with Danny Garcia and all those top guys in the amateurs. So he's a credible guy. And you know, you look at records sometimes, you don't know, like you really have to look into it. Like, well, was this guy coming in on 5 days' notice and not training and just coming in and taking fights, because he's also been a part of some very good camps and giving good work. And so it was definitely a tough test for Ali. I just don't think I think Saddam's all right. I just don't think he has the physical, strength to really compete with any of the top level guys at welter or anything like that.
I mean, that's what kind of shows you the difference between the pros and the amateurs, man. Sometimes you could be a world-class amateur, and when you get to the elite pros, I mean, that's a whole different.
Yeah, but it's also difference in circumstances. You don't know who has the ability to train full time because they're being supported, or working with world-class trainers and world-class camps and things like that. You know what I mean? It's all circumstance.
I mean, even like
some guys might have the talent and the ability, and they're not given the opportunity if you have to work 65 hours a week to make rent.
Yeah, but does Ali have to do that though? Is my question.
No, I'm not talking about Ali. No, I'm not saying that. No.
Yeah, I'm applying it specifically with him.
Yeah, and he's been around since 08. He's not a prospect anymore. He's he should be a full blown. He kind of is what he is, I guess, at this point, unless anybody else thinks differently.
I've only seen Ali a couple of times. I've only seen him a couple of times, so it's hard for me to judge. But maybe it is what Schema said. It's like levels, and like he's come up, and he's facing people that are kind of similar to his level, and maybe this is where he's going to be, and he's not really going to get any higher. But we've exhausted this topic. I only wanted to talk about it for 15 minutes, but we've gone a bit longer. But there were a few fights on Friday. There was a Friday night fights card that was headlined by
Belmontes.
No, Friday night fights was the Willie Nelson. But just my quick opinion on Willie Nelson. Ness said it greatly on the Boxing Voice yesterday, and Teddy Atlas said it. He just doesn't use his height and his reach to his advantage. When you have those traits, you need to use them. Keep the guy on the outside, but why are you letting the guy get close to you? And then he got rocked as well and hurt, and he could have lost that fight quite easily. Anyone else want to chime in? Go ahead.
He's not very good. That's pretty much it.
In a nutshell. Well said, Kevin.
I mean, sometimes, like you say, sometimes he doesn't use his height, he doesn't use this. At the end of the day, it's because he's just not very good. I've seen him a couple times. He's a guy, when you look at him on paper, the entrance walk, you look at him in the ring, you're like, oh, this guy has a potential. Like, that's a big package in that weight class, and something's missing. And it doesn't help, I don't think, having Jack Lowe as the trainer, so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Jack Lowe did a good job with Kelly Pavlik. Pavlik certainly knew.
I mean, Kelly Pavlik just had world-class power and fucking vaporized people. As soon as Pavlik left Jack Lowe, he basically talked about what training was. He basically said, I would come in, hit the bag for a couple rounds while Jack Lowe was trying to make money, get new customers for driveway paving. And then he would get some sparring, and that's pretty much it. So that was pretty, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know too much about the training situation there.
Yeah, I just heard it from interviews, though. It might have been sour grapes, What do we really know?
That's true.
Possibly.
That's true.
But yeah, no, the thing about Willie Nelson is, like, even if you're a tall guy that doesn't really use your range, you can still be a good inside fighter. There have been like tall, good inside fighters or guys that are
Peterson.
tall for a weight class. Yep, exactly. Good example. I mean, Michael Carvajal in the '90s. He was a tall ass, little guy, and he was an inside fighter like a motherfucker, man. He had crazy power. But the thing is, you have to be able to shorten up your shots. You have to be able to tuck your chin behind your shoulder and be able to, put up the guard and everything and roll with punches and do all that stuff properly. That's almost like an entirely different skill set. That's why you get a lot of guys, they're good on their feet. They're good moving around the ring. But once you get inside on them, they don't know what the fuck to do. And the ironic thing about Willie Nelson is whether he's on the outside or on the inside, he kind of doesn't know what the fuck to do except just like load up. So, I mean, he's got a problem.
Cam, when you watched him, do you think he would ever be competitive against the top competition on like an HBO or a premium level anymore?
Who, Willie Nelson?
Yeah.
Personally, no. I agree with you. There's something missing about him. Like, he hasn't got that spark that's going to take him to like the elite level, in my opinion. I think he'll just fall short.
Yeah, it didn't look like he ever turned it up. Like, I noticed that with a lot of fighters. It's like sometimes you see guys have that second gear where they're able to turn it to another speed, and that separates some people. And he just, it's like monotone. He had that one gear, and that's it.
Yeah.
The thing, I wonder if that one gear thing might be because he's fighting at such a low weight for such a big guy, but I can't necessarily say that.
So you're thinking maybe he's cutting too much weight and that's hurting his
I'm just saying it's possible. I'm just like throwing
that's a big guy for that weight class.
Or maybe his fucking clutch is fucked up and he can't even move gears.
needs a performance clutch. But we had a big Chinese heavyweight as well, Noto, who fought a guy with a glass shoulder.
Exactly. Fucking Zhang Jilei's power was so immense that he fucking transferred through the guy's shoulder and hit his chin. That shit was amazing.
Yeah. He got himself off the sofa, got himself a nice payday, sat down in the first round, went home a happy man. That shit was a joke, man. That must have been embarrassing. You could tell how embarrassed the commentators were, man. Like people at home watching that shit.
Yeah, Teddy was disgusted.
Man.
Teddy was disgusted.
Because I mean, at least Tayshawn Dong knocked the fucking guy out with headshots, man. He was cracking that dude.
Yeah.
Gillet didn't even really like get a chance to hit the guy cleanly.
Yeah.
The guy almost like felt his power. He's like, all right, I'm done. Like I do not want any more of that.
Where's my check? I'm going home.
Yeah. But I mean, Gillet's he's an interesting fighter though. He almost reminds me of Corey Sanders from about 10 years ago or whatever. He's a pretty big guy. He's a southpaw, and he's fairly quick. He's fairly quick on his feet and with his hands, and he has good power.
How old is he, Noto? Is he in his 30s? Or is he a bit younger?
Yeah, he's 32, I believe.
So they kind of need to put him on a bit of a fast track, don't they, really?
Yeah, like pretty much like Shiming, really. I mean, he's been around the same amount of time as Shiming. He's just not quite as heralded because he won a silver back in 2008, and then he lost to Anthony Joshua in the quarterfinals in 2012. So he was never able to get that gold for China. But I mean, he's a pretty interesting. He's a pretty tough puzzle. He's the type of guy that I could see really excelling against a lot of heavyweights, just because his style is very awkward and very rare for a heavyweight, for a big guy like that.
Yeah. Anyone else want to chime in? Go ahead. If not, we're going to move on to, I think it was the Fox Sports 1 card. I think the Iron Mike Promotions card.
Great card, man.
Yep.
Great card,
Cam. That was one of the best cards of the year, man.
I only caught the Meza Clay Herrera fight, but I'm
You didn't
told,
watch the main event afterwards?
No, I didn't get I didn't get a chance. I've been busy today, so I didn't get a chance to catch up on all those fights. But
Yeah, Sammy Vasquez.
Yeah.
So far, right now, that card and the main events card from earlier, I think two of the non-premium cable cards might be cards of the year.
Okay, guys, you touch on this Vasquez fight and give me the lowdown how the fight went.
Now, so you watched it, right?
Yeah.
Great fight, a lot of action in that fight. I mean, it had Tyson as a commentator, freaking going absolutely ape shit on the mic. So that was also comical in itself. But man, it was just punches. It was a lot of punches. It was great pressure fight. Vasquez he turned it on when he had to, and it was just a good fight.
Yeah,
you know who I would like to see in a full blown out conversation, like on air commentating? Fucking Mike Tyson with Keith Thurman, the battle of the list.
Well, the great thing about Tyson though is you could tell that he really loves the sport. Like he loves the history, he loves everything about it. So I mean, whenever you get him commentating on it, and he's lucid at least, he's going to be a joy to be able to hear.
Yeah, because when it was time for Vasquez to turn it up and throw punches, he was basically like willing him to do it as well over the mic, basically, telling him it's time to go, time to turn it up, like he had him.
Yeah. And
but Vasquez got hurt too. Both guys were hurt, and it was just a give and take battle with a lot of punches, and it was a great fight. I mean, I don't know how, sometimes you don't need two A-level guys. Sometimes it's, two B-levels or two C-level guys. It's the Gotti Ward type of thing where, certain things just click, and it's a great action fight, and, it might not have been at the best, top skill level, but, I'd rather watch something like that over,
the thing is, it was two undefeated prospects is what it was. That's what happens when you put prospects up against each other. And the thing is, that's the type of thing that really builds character for guys to go up to the next level, because they've already faced a certain amount of adversity, so they're ready to when the next level of adversity comes. And
plus, this was in Pittsburgh, correct?
Yeah, it was.
It was a freaking live crowd over there, man. It was a very live crowd.
Yeah, I caught the Meza Clay fight. I really enjoyed that fight. I had time today. I had about 30 minutes to watch your fights, and that's the one I chose because a few people told me that it was a fun, competitive fight. Clay was just really active, great like movement, head movement, upper body movement, and he just kept catching Alan Herrera with overhand right. It's like Herrera wasn't.
Like he shouldn't have been able to, right?
Exactly.
Like somebody that short shouldn't have been able to, right?
It's that, but the fact that he didn't adjust to it, he didn't think, well, I've been caught by that punch a few times, so I'll try and defend it a bit better or change something. He just kept getting hit with it. One thing I gotta say though, Herrera had a chin and a half, man. He took some big punches of Clay. And the stoppage, I think it was a fair stoppage because he took a lot of unanswered punches. His hands were down. He wasn't moving. He wasn't throwing back. And I think the ref just thought, why let this kid take more punishment? And he stopped the fight. I think it was in the last round, in the 10th round. But a really enjoyable fight. Ari, what did you think of this card or this fight in particular?
These are the real cards I'm starting to realise now where I actually need to start watching boxing on Fridays more than Saturdays because these are the guys who are actually fighting. Trying to earn a wage. They're fighting, trying to actually improve. They're not trying to give us bullshit on a Saturday. They're trying to make something of themselves and giving us good 50-50 fights. So shout out to Mike Tyson and shout out to Main Events because they're the guys who are giving us the cards we want to see, man. And this card was brilliant, man. The fight, it was late over here, but still I was hyped, man. Like I didn't on the Clay fight, I was juggling. I was watching two streams at the same time. I was watching the Friday Night Fights card as well. So I didn't really see the Clay one that much. But the Vasquez fight was great to watch. So was the guy he's fighting called Stevenson? I can't remember. Who was Vasquez fighting? The black guy.
Yeah, James Stevenson.
Yeah, he wasn't giving up, man. Even though he was kind of, Vasquez was boxing him at times, but he had heart, man. And obviously, I think it was a late stoppage, but I definitely want to see Vasquez again if he Sounds like he might make something of himself, because I think he's still undefeated. So if he can keep doing what he's doing, maybe we'll see him against other. He's 147, right? Maybe we'll see him against other 147s, like the next level, the B guys, or you know what I mean. So yeah, man, I'll keep an eye out for him because I've never seen him before.
Dave, I know you just caught the Meza Clay fight. What did you think?
Actually, it was pretty good. Look, there wasn't much defense going on there. They were both hitting each other quite easily, but at least there was some drama in the fight. They both got hurt. They were both backing up. It was a fun fight to watch.
Yeah,
definitely better than anything on Saturday.
Well, anything on Saturday, Noto, I was a bit disappointed with you, Noto, man. You were bigging up the strawweight fight really highly, and I thought, oh, this must be a war. And I think Ari said, oh yeah, Noto, I've seen it, and it's really good. So I was expecting like a really great fight. And don't get me wrong, it was enjoyable and fun to watch. I just didn't see much technique. I just saw like two small dudes just swinging arms about, to be honest.
No, Cam, I said shout out to the stamina. They were winging.
Exactly.
They were winging for like 12 rounds, man.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is, it's one.
When
of
you're
those,
94 pounds, you should have stamina.
Well, it's one of those fights where when a pace starts that fast, because it starts fast and it remains fast the entire time. Sometimes you just can't let off the gas. But I mean, like, speaking of the stamina thing, is that's the type of stamina that used to be common even amongst the higher weight guys, where they could really fight for. Barrera Morales was 12 rounds of a war. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of fighters nowadays, they just don't have that. They just don't have that for 12 rounds, and it's just a damn shame that you don't see that often, and that you have to pretty much go down to guys that small that they have to fight unifiers and fight other elite level opponents in their weight class in order to get the 6-figure paydays and stuff like these guys got.
That's one thing I do like. The smaller guys are unifying and they are fighting best in the division. Like, none of these small guys are ducking anyone. That's one thing I've got to respect.
Well, I mean, you got to think, both of these guys that were in this fight, Francisco Rodriguez and Katsunari Takayama, they both had lost to Roman Gonzalez in the past. Both of them. And Roman Gonzalez, of course, he's a pound-for-pound level fighter. He's about to come up for his third weight class title, at flyweight.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's just a beast, So I mean, these are two guys that were kind of. It's almost like if you want to make a comparison, like Matisse and Peterson fighting each other. They both lost, or like Matisse and Herrera or somebody. They both lost to the elite champ of their division or whatever, or their weight range, and it's like they're fighting each other, but. Yeah, man. It wasn't like elite, like pound for pound level stuff. It wasn't like Ricardo Lopez or anything, or Roman Gonzalez himself. But I mean, it was high level stuff, and it was, it's great stamina, great action all the way through, and two guys really going after it. Two guys unifying and just trying to prove that they're the best in the division, regardless of if their division has kind of been cleaned out by all the guys moving up in weight. But Hecky Butler's been calling out the winner. So we might see another unification down there.
Is that the South African dude?
Yep. He's the one that knocked out Kosanati Joyi. So I mean, if he fights Francisco Rodriguez, that'll be 3 of the 4 belts unified.
Yeah, that's what I like to see, man. The best fighting the best. But anyone else want to touch on this card before we move on?
Not on that card, but just real quick to finish up on the Fox Sports 1, like I said, the Pittsburgh crowd was crazy, and we just had that Omaha, Nebraska crowd, for the Gamboa Crawford fight was crazy. And now with Broner fighting in Cincinnati, it'll probably be a live crowd. I think it's a good thing to really, spread the sport that, we're taking fights out of casinos and just California. Yeah. And when you put hometown fighters in cards, that builds the popularity of the sport. Like, you used to see that all the time, the club fighters and the local fighters, and I think that's just a big thing, and I hope Top Rank continues to do it, and Golden Boy, because that Pittsburgh crowd was fucking crazy. The Omaha crowd we know was crazy, and I'm sure Cincinnati would be ratchet as hell with AB up in there, so we'll see what happens. I would think that would happen.
Well, like the DC crowds have been pretty hyped too for when the Petersons have been
exactly. And I think the more fights that are out of casinos that are going to be more, I don't know. I just more localized. I think is going to spread the sport regionally and really give fans somebody to latch on to as their fighter. You know what I mean? It's tough to call someone your fighter if he's only fighting in Vegas, and he's not fighting in your town.
Well, I mean, Vegas historically it used to be for the mega fights, where it's like you had two guys from two different parts of the country or two different parts of the world, and then Vegas was the neutral territory, and then those guys had their hometown crowds traveling to Vegas in order to come see them and support them. But they had that hometown base already built up in order to do that.
And it's a bigger business too. You gotta think about it, man. These casinos, they lower their rates sometimes, and they're there for you to get entertained, but they also want you to fucking drop down some money too. Lose it at the crap tables.
No, of course. But like, it's one of those things. It's like they have to have like a main attraction, and the best way to have a main attraction is to have a guy who's already shown and proved that he can fill the seats in his home.
Yep.
You know what? I'm from California, man, and to be honest with you, I love the StubHub, but I think it's about time they start fucking doing fights at the Forum, man. To be honest with you, it's
Marquez was at the Forum.
Yeah, exactly, dude. It's so fucking nice in there, man.
Yeah, but they're bringing it back. I'm sure that they're definitely going to be coming back to the Forum soon.
Yeah, man.
I mean, StubHub has mainly been a Golden Boy. Place, but
StubHub has been a great venue. We've had great fights at the StubHub, and like the Matisse Molina fight, the crowd was going crazy, and StubHub has been a great venue. So, I just think the more you do that, the better it is, and you're going to have local fighters on the undercard that get built, and they get built in that area, and they get built as their fighters, and that's just going to drive the sport.
Yeah, no doubt, but man, motherfuckers, they don't want to be outside, man, fucking in the sun, fucking. If you have some shit seats, that sun is gonna be in your fucking eyes, man, and that's bullshit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's even why, like, they had Chris Arreola headlining a bunch of times in Ontario at the Citizens Bank Arena, because and the thing is, he's from Riverside, so that's a bit more inland, closer to where he's at, so that made a certain degree of sense. But I mean, really, LA is largely where it's at when you want to bring the big crowds, so. It's one of those things where, I mean, Ontario's cool, but I mean, it's not. It doesn't have quite the same prestige as like the Forum or even Staples Center. Like they haven't had fights in Staples Center in a minute. I could see them bringing that back too.
Get the fucking Klitschko in there. Let's go, champ.
Wherever you go, I go, champ. Wherever you eat, I eat, champ. No.
Well, the funny thing that you mentioned about that is Vitaly Klitschko had headlined at Staples a couple of times before his initial retirement or whatever. And the thing is, he was building a serious fan base there because he was blasting guys out. He fought fucking Lennox Lewis, and then he annihilated Danny Williams, annihilated some other dude. I can't remember his name at the moment. Kirk Johnson. And,
that's one guy you got to give credit. As far as heavyweights, that motherfucker had put it down. He was fighting no bums.
Fuck heavyweights.
Let's go, champ!
Yo, Kev, you're not a fan of heavyweights, no?
What's up?
You're not a fan of heavyweights?
Not this generation.
Nah, I think the heavyweight scene is gonna get.
It could be entertaining. You got a bunch of shit talkers out there, but the problem is you always hear about these guys that are gonna fight each other and they never end up fighting each other. And now look at who Wilder's fighting. Fucking the guy that just fought James Toney. Like, come on, man. I'm done with Wilder. He can talk all the shit he wants, but he's done. Fuck him.
Yeah, really, a division is only as good as the matchups. Even if you have a lot of good fighters, if you don't have the matchups, you don't have a good division. You don't have good fights. Because I mean, there's a lot of. The problem is, for the past several years, it's like all these guys have been just kind of biding their time, not fighting each other in order to try and get their, eventual mandated shot at one of the Klitschkos.
Yeah, no one wants to lose until the Klitschkos leave, and it's like, come on, man, enough.
Yep.
Yo, Ski Mask, you just mentioned something in the Skype chat there that you wanted to talk about. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, man. Who the fuck is gonna? I just want to see what's everybody's opinion on this BKB with Gabriel Rosado and Brian Vera, man.
You got crickets?
You serious?
Hey, yo. I'm just saying, man, they're fucking boxers.
You're serious? You're serious?
They're both good boys, But man, this is
I
some
respect Bucks.
Dude, this is some fucking bullshit. Like, it's pay-per-view for the fact. I don't think I want to spend fucking money watching this shit.
Yo, Joe, how much is it? Do you know?
Fucking,
you don't think?
How much is it, Joe?
I have no idea, to be honest
I
with
think
you.
it's
I
like
haven't
$45.
$45?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Fuck
Let me
that.
check.
Man, I don't know, man, but I would not pay to see this bullshit, man. To be honest with you, I just wanted to see what everybody's opinion was on this shit, man. You know, does a fucking loss here go on your boxing record? Like, what the fuck happens, man? You know what I mean?
Nah, man.
Gabriel Rosado has so many fucking losses. Why the fuck? I mean, I understand for him. I mean, I don't know if he wants to come back in boxing. He needs to try something new. You know, but Brian Vera, I think he has a good possibility of coming back and stronger than ever. You know what the fuck, man? Why go into some bullshit like this?
Yeah, Vera's got a better chance just because of the fact that Rosado cut so easily. And it's like, why would you go into this knowing that you cut so easily? It's a weird decision, to be honest. But I'm not gonna watch it, so I might catch it like the day after just to see how it went. But I don't even know what this type of boxing is. I've never seen it before. Like BKB,
Well,
I've never heard of it before.
From what I've read about it, I guess it's like they're wearing gloves with the knuckle push and cut out.
Okay.
And it's either 5 or 7 2-minute rounds.
Right.
So, yeah.
All right. Fuck this shit. Let's move on to let's move on to Saturday. Like, I'm really torn right in the middle with how I think this fight's gonna play out. I'm talking about Kell Brook versus Shawn Porter at the StubHub in California. Black Ski Mask Joe's stomping ground. I really want to go for Brook. I really want to go for him, but there's so many intangibles and so many variables. Like Brook's weight situation. Will he make 147 comfortable? Will he be drained? Porter's been looking like a beast lately. But
here comes the excuses.
But Brook's got a really good jab. Will he be able to kind of keep him at bay? Like, Ari, I spoke to you off air the other day, and you said that you're going Brook. So, what's your thoughts on this fight?
Are you gonna call me out like that?
Yo, you need to break it down. You need to back up your statements.
I'm just trying to back my flag, but I don't know, man. Just it's funny. I was actually watching some Porter today. Like, it's kind of crazy. What's the word? The progress he's made in like the space of 2 years. Like, I was watching it, and it was actually quite hard to watch. It was actually quite hard to find the Porter Diaz, the first fight. They've made sure it's kind of hard to find it. And the Porter that we have now is very different. He's still kind of that style, but now he's even more aggressive. He looks stronger. He looks like stamina's not a question. It's just, you already know my opinion on him of why that could be. But if it is clean work, then he's been working hard in the gym. Because I was watching the Devon fight, and he was at full speed at Devon, 12 rounds. Constantly coming inside low. He comes in low and then he's attacking him, and then obviously the fight was quite repetitive how it happened. He kept coming in, then it was tie up, and then kept coming in tie up, and he was landing nice punches on Devon, and Devon, I don't know if Devon had that cut and it affected him, but you know what I mean, he really beat Devon up. And then the Paulie fight, everyone knows what happened there. He just got killed inside 4 rounds. So, and the problem is with Brook is that his weakness is his inside game, and that's Porter's main strength. So at the same time, me saying I'm going with Brook, I should be really going Porter because he's got the skill. His main skill is Brook's weakness. But the question is, I think that maybe Brook has to get that jab going. If he can get a strong jab going, maybe it will make Porter wary to try and attack. You know what I mean? To come in wild with his hooks and to try and catch Brook. Because if he comes in and he gets caught by one of them strong jabs, Brook has actually dropped a couple guys with his strong jab, and he's got a good right hand straight behind it. So if Brook can get his straight punches going, you never know. We might have a great fight on our hands, but.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yo, but Adi, when was the last time that Brook made 147?
I think
I actually think it was last year, man, for the Senchenko fight.
Yeah, Senchenko fight, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like he hasn't made it in a long time.
but he has been fighting at 151, 152. So
Yeah, he's
I mean,
been doing catch weights, yeah.
that's I mean the main issue with picking Brook in this fight, because I think that the guy is good. I mean, has some good boxing abilities. He fights well from the outside, but Porter, he likes to close the distance, and it will be a difficult fight for him, especially after watching that Carson Jones fight, when he struggled to the end of the fight. I mean, he was about to getting knocked out. So, but the thing is that I don't know how the guy is going to make that weight, because he looks really ripped, and making 147, it will be difficult for him, especially fighting outside the United Kingdom. So
I think he'll make it, because he's been in camp. He's had a very, very long camp. He's been in camp since April, I think, even. And I'm not sure. I think they had little breaks in between just to make sure, he doesn't overtrain. But
yeah,
like I said, he actually made the 147 for the Senchenko fight last October, so it's not like he hasn't made it in years. It's just that he had that Robles fight afterwards where he came in at 151 or 152, I think, just to, not to cut weight. But I do think he's on the weight. I think he'll make it. He knows what this is. He knows he has to do it. And that's the thing. He knows in his mind this fight is make or break for him. Because if he doesn't win this, I don't see him ever having really another big fight against someone, because no one would fight him on a voluntary, really. You know what I mean? For any other belt, he ain't going to fight Pacquiao. He's not going to fight Floyd. And who's the other champ?
So he did make 147 in October?
Yeah, he made it in October. Yeah, checkbox check kind of thing.
Yeah,
so it was a title eliminated. Yeah.
I didn't think he made it in his last two fights.
I thought the same. I thought the same, Kevin. But yeah, he made it against Zinchenko. His first fight with Carson Jones, he made it as well, and against Hector Saldivia, he made it. The only ones that he's had a catch weight was.
I'm off then. I thought he hasn't been there in about a year, so I was thinking the same thing. Like, because a lot of times squeezing that last 2-3 pounds is the hardest part. So when you're taking those catch weights and you haven't done it in a year, that was a concern that I did have, that he might not even make weight, or he's going to kill himself making weight. But
10 months is a long time.
Well, in the last year he made 147 once, and the other two were catch weights. They were both 151.
Yeah, but Dave, what's your thoughts on this fight? Dave is sinister. I think he's got technical issues. We'll go to...
Yeah, but let me tell you something else, because, I mean, it's, the biggest fight that he has, and he's fighting outside the UK, so I don't know if it will be, hard for him fighting in the US I think that it's the second fight he will fight there, but it will be in the enemy territory.
The thing is, I think he's been out there for a few weeks to kind of acclimatize and just get used to the weather, get used to just being out.
So he already traveled.
Yeah. I think he's been out there about 2 weeks.
He's been there since last week.
Yeah, he's been here. And also, Porter doesn't have a huge California fan base. It's not going to be like a hostile crowd. It's not going to be like he's fighting Crawford in Omaha or something like that, where the place is nuts. So I don't know necessarily that that's going to be an issue, unless there's some judging bullshit. But I don't know that the fact that it's going on in LA is going to be an issue.
Yeah, because he's from freaking Cleveland, man. So
yeah, he's a Midwest guy. He doesn't have much swagger. He's not very popular amongst people outside of the hardcores. So I don't know how much support he's going to have there.
Ski Mask Joe.
It's a neutral battleground.
Yeah, it really is.
Joe, you possibly might go to this fight, but just generally, what's your thoughts and how do you think it's going to play out?
Man, what I think is how it's going to play out, I don't know. Maybe we might see some good technical skills displayed from Kell Brook, but I think what actually is going to happen, I think Shawn Porter's just going to overpower him. That's what I honestly think, man. Shawn Porter's going to overpower this guy, but don't get me wrong, I think Kell Brook will show a lot of technical skills and all that might, kind of show us a little something. But as far as that, I think he's going to lose, man. I don't know. It's a hard fight to kind of
call.
To call, man. I want both fighters to win because I want to see Kell Brook fucking fight Khan.
A lot of people are saying that in the
that's
UK.
going to happen. I mean, eventually that fight is going to happen.
And then I want Shawn Porter to win because I want him to see fight Keith Thurman. So it's like, fuck. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, but I don't know. Who knows if any of the fights are going to happen, whoever wins. I mean, it's not like Heyman's been in a rush to match anybody up right now. But
yeah.
For you guys who know Brook more than me, I've only seen him in a couple of the fights that are on YouTube and stuff, going back to Carson Jones and them. Has he ever dealt with a guy who's been a bum rush freaking a bull?
Not really. Like, Carson Jones is trying to walk him down a bit, but he's not really faced a person like Porter before. Like, that's why I think it's going to be a
Then again, I don't
fight.
really know if there's anybody like Porter in the whole division.
That's
guy's
a good point.
A beast, man.
Yeah, that's a good point. But like, Senchenko was a totally different fighter. Saldivia is a totally different fighter. And if you go any further than that, Kell Brook's resume is pretty weak, man. Like Matthew Hatton, Galaraza. Like, there's no names there, like Eddie Hearn.
What's the buzz like over there? Are they thinking that this is a W, or are they thinking that they're going in as the underdog and they'd be surprised if he wins? Is the buzz over there confident? Are they confident in Brook, or is he a fan favorite over there, or is he not? Is it a love-hate with him?
No, he's a fan favorite.
He's a fan favorite, but I don't know about you, Ari. I've not really seen much like TV coverage. Like, have you seen much?
Yeah, no, I haven't. But I think they're gonna pump it up soon, most probably from Wednesday. You'll be all over Sky Sports News. You know how they do it, but they know it's a tough fight. They definitely know it's a tough fight. Obviously, they would have wished there was Devin Alexander. If it was Devin Alexander, they definitely would have given him more of a chance. But he's got to do it. As simple as that, really. He actually has quite a big fan base. They're ready to try and put in pay-per-view versus card if he gets this, and you know what I mean. So he knows the big fights are ahead of him. He just has to get the job done. But the question is, can he get the job done? Because this is a tough fight, man.
Yeah, it seems odd. Yeah. It seems odd he didn't take the Alexander fight, and now he's taking the Porter fight. The Porter's the tougher fight. And that just seems odd that couldn't happen. That Alexander fight just never happened.
It was injuries.
Yeah, really, on both camps too.
Yeah. Brook initially got injured, and then Alexander got injured, and then Brook got injured again, and then that's when they just thought, fuck it, we'll send Lee Purdy in as cannon fodder and get beat up. That's one thing that, like, shout out to Ness, but he always mentions Lee Purdy as like the measuring stick of British fighters. Like, Lee Purdy, no one rates Lee Purdy, Ness. Ness, if you're listening, no one in the UK rates Lee Purdy, so stop mentioning him. But Nota, how do you think this fight's going to break down?
Porter by annihilation.
Nasta's a big Porter fan.
Hell yeah, man! Porter's coming to bring it. He's coming to beat the brakes off of Brook, man. And I think he's gonna do it. You know, the thing is, Brook, to me, he's been, man. The guys he's been fighting, nowhere near Porter's level. Not even close, man. So
the thing about Hearn is he's directed Brook in a clever way to a title shot. Really, he's not really had any big tests to get that title opportunity.
Yeah, and I mentioned earlier, you know, like when you're not tested, that's gonna be a big problem when you come up against somebody that's coming for you. And Porter is the type of dude nowadays that's coming for you. And I mean, just the like stylistically, the way Porter's able to cut off the ring, close in on you, and just make you fight. Like whether you want to or not, he's gonna make you fight. If you want to box, he's gonna make you fight. I think Brook's in serious trouble, man.
I think
Brook's in serious trouble.
I can see Porter's camp requesting a small ring for this one as well, just so like Brook has nowhere to go.
Yeah, I could see that. But I mean, even if it was a larger ring, I'm not even sure if that would really help him too. Because I mean, Porter's got good foot speed, and he's able to connect even at range. Like he's able to close the distance, cover the ground so quickly that even though he doesn't necessarily have long reach, it's almost like he makes the most of the reach that he has, and he's still able to clip guys. And just the way he throws like those kind of overhand rights from the outside coming in, and the way Brook kind of pulls back sometimes, I see that shit landing.
Yeah, I rate how Porter makes 147, because when you look at him, like, he's so sculptured and like not an ounce of fat on him. You think, how does this dude make 147? Like, standard?
Took him years, and he's also only 5'8", I believe.
Okay, that helps when you're a bit short. But did any of you see this YouTube video of his dad, like, kind of taunting Kell Brook a bit and saying, "Oh, this guy's not fought anyone," and blah blah blah, and
yeah, he was doing it in the gym, right? And he was saying, if I didn't get a title shot in 10 years, I would have told Shawn to quit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was very, and even Shawn kind of like seemed like he was embarrassed by it. Like
he was like, "Yo, chill, dad, chill." Yeah. I was surprised about that. Almost like it's like Ken's kind of got the Angel Garcia bug now, where he's kind of talking on behalf of his son.
Well, Ken's taking a lot of the criticism personally. He's taking a lot of the criticism personally, and the attacks on him being clean and stuff like that, and starting with Paulie talking all that shit. Like, he's been pretty outspoken ever since then, and I think he's just tired of it, and he's taking it pretty much really hard. Like, he's like you said, that Angel Garcia is kind of defensive, except more articulate and brighter.
He's been caught in lies, though. If you really go through his interviews, he's been caught. He contradicts himself at times, and like I said, he's been caught in lies. I've heard him lie once or twice. You know what I mean? So
about what?
Yeah. Like if you really want to go back into it, like the drug testing, he said that he requested the drug testing, but then if you go back to an interview he had a couple weeks before that, he said there was no drug testing for this fight. So how could he request it if weeks before he said there was none? And Hearn has always said from the start that he put it in the contract from months ago. Yeah, and you know what I mean?
Again, like, a shout out to Ness, because they've had some good interviews and some good coverage. Like, every time, like, the Boxing Voice have interviewed him, like, anytime drug testing's mentioned, like, Ken goes all jittery and nervous and shit, man. Like, he's a really
and he has that long-winded answer, right?
Yeah, he kind of like, he kind of dances around the question and like starts looking away and like. I'm not an expert on body language, but yo, he there is something when he starts talking about drug testing. There is something in his actions, man.
I think after this fight, though, he is going to be doing the 24/7 VADA. I think that's what he was saying. But like you said, Ari, it might be a lie again. It might be something he says and it never happens. I'd be interested. I
hope they do that, because that would just prove 100%. Then if you're getting tested at throughout the year,
the Nonito testing.
Yeah, that
I'd be willing to bet that from here on out, there's probably going to be, like, if he fights another high level opponent, they'll probably demand it. Like if he were to fight Thurman. If he were to fight Thurman, I'm sure Thurman's crew would demand it. And, of course, Mayweather would demand it.
Yeah, Mayweather would demand it, but then he'll let all his fighters juice. Has anyone not spoken on this topic? Because then we'll get to the undercard.
So is anybody picking Kell Brook, or is everybody going with Porter?
You know what, Kev? I'm waiting till Friday till the weigh-in.
You want to see the weigh-in?
Yeah, I want to see Brook.
That's a fair thing to say, because both these guys have to cut a lot to make weight. They're both large 147s, and when you got guys that have to cut like that, you never know when it might bite them in the ass eventually.
I'm also expecting one of them. I'm also expecting one of them to maybe not hit the weight first time round and have extra time to maybe get to the weight.
Maybe cut the last half.
Yeah. I got a feeling that's going to happen with one of them. Probably Kell Brook, but maybe with even Porter. You never know.
Now, if Brook is the upside, if he wins this fight, is Amir Khan the next fight if Khan can't get Mayweather? Is that the upside? Is that what they're going to try to build, a mega fight?
Yeah, if Khan can't get Mayweather in May, or maybe even if Khan should really have that fight, then if he's so confident in his skills as if he talks it, he should have that fight in December or January. Then you think you'll beat Brook, so beat Brook and then have the Mayweather fight. And if he beats Brook, he'll have the UK fans back on him, because they'll be talking about him again, because he's done a big fight in the UK and he's won it. So the Mayweather fight will even be more lucrative for him.
That's a good
point.
Are
people pounding the drum for that fight? Are people really?
Yeah, it's a big British fight. Yeah, they want to see it. I want to see it.
That's a good point, because I've always thought maybe Khan should fight maybe Guerrero in December, but if Brook loses and he fights him in maybe December or January, that's a big fight. And I've always said that Khan is always better when he faces better opponents. When he kind of fights subpar guys. You can tell he's not all there. Like
fights
with
to the
Collazo,
level,
everyone
right?
was expecting Collazo to beat him, and you could tell that he put the effort and the training in. So, I always think it's better for Khan to fight better guys, even if he's just on the verge of getting knocked out. I think he's always better against better people. But
what's the undercard for this fight?
Yeah, I was going to get to that, Kevin. I think
it's solid.
Yeah, we got the rematch of Bika and Dirrell.
Yeah, that's what it was. Oh man, this is a good card, man. I gotta say, after Golden Showtime gave us a pile of shit, they coming back with a good card for us, man.
Yeah, what do you think about this fight, Kev? This rematch? Do you think Dirrell will be able to do enough this time? Or?
Yeah, I watched the first fight, and I think Dirrell. I remember watching it live, and I just rewatched it because Showtime was posting like a couple of their better rounds on YouTube. And I think Dirrell just cost himself the fight, thinking that he had it won, and the last 3 rounds, 4 rounds, kind of took the foot off the pedal. And I think eventually Bika's gonna just get a little older, a little slower, and it's gonna catch up to him because he's basically getting by on just scrapping through, kind of like the way Glenn Johnson at the end of his career just eventually got older and older, and it was easier and easier to beat him. Whereas before he was such a tough out that I think that might start happening here, and I think Dirrell should win, and I'm just worried neither guy's fought since that fight, I don't think, and it's been a while. So
yeah, I think that fight was in December of last year, if memory serves me
correct.
And
it's just too often that these young guys are not fighting, and I think that hurts. I mean, no matter how much you get good work in the gym, when you're not in the ring, I think that's I think that's an issue. But the fact that they both had the same time off, and I think Dirrell should have won the first fight. I think Dirrell will win this one as well.
Ski Mask, what do you think about this fight?
Man, Sakio Bika and Anthony Dirrell, man. I don't know. We shall see what happens, man. I'm not too amped about this one, but, fuck it. I guess it's a fight.
I think the referee...
You didn't like the first one?
I mean, it was good, but I don't know. I think there was if I remember correctly, there was a little bit of dirty tactics on both sides, right?
Yeah, more Bika. But I was going to say, I think whoever the referee is in this fight is going to play a major factor, because if it's someone a bit lenient and is going to let Dirrell get away with a few dirty stuff, then maybe that's going to play in Dirrell's in Bika's favor. But
well, see, the thing that in my opinion cost Dirrell the first fight, because I thought he was kind of on his way to winning to a certain degree, and then Bika kind of came on the end, is Dirrell almost he started to evade the fight entirely. He started doing the Lada thing, where it's he just he just wanted to try and score with a jab, and that was it, and avoid contact for the rest of the fight, in the last 4 or 5 rounds, because Bika was giving him a hard ass fight. And Bika and Dirrell didn't seem like he really wanted a part of that in the last several rounds, because Bika was throwing haymakers at him the entire time, and Dirrell was almost looking well, how the fuck is this guy still throwing power at me?
Yeah.
And so he was trying to do anything to just win it on points.
What weight class is this in?
Super middle, 168.
Yeah, it's for Bika's title, man. He's got the WBC.
Yeah, man, if fucking Bika loses, dude. Fucking A, Australia had a bad year, huh?
Yeah, hey, it'd be 4, and they'd be 0-4 in 4 weeks, man.
Shit.
Fuck.
At least
you gotta think Caparello, Gil, and
Fletcher.
Yeah, Fletcher. There we go.
God damn.
Was Dirrell? Were the both brothers training together at all? Was there any joint camps, or anybody know anything about that?
I've not heard anything, to be honest.
I'm sure they were.
Seeing that the other one just fought on Friday Night Fights recently.
I'd be willing to bet they were, because they seem pretty close. They're always at each other's fights and everything. So.
Yeah, he was in his brother's corner for the first Bika fight. So
yeah,
if that's world class right there. That's something to help push you. So that might be, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and they've always had world class sparring, because I remember years ago when Floyd Mayweather Sr. was going off on Chad Dawson, talking about how Andre Dirrell was beating the shit out of him in sparring. So I think both of them have kind of had world class sparring for a good while now. So they're used to it.
Yo, Ari, what do you think of this fight?
Yeah, I like this fight. The first fight, it was fun, man. Bika's just he's just a hook. He's just a hooker, man. You know what I mean? He's like a mid-range hooker, man. He's just wild. But I like Kev. I thought Dirrell just edged it, and like Kev said, he gave up the last couple of rounds, and that's why he lost it, because he got the knockdown on Bika. I can't remember what round it was. It might have been early, and I think after that he thought that he just had it in the bag. So I think at the same time, I think he might have gassed out a bit, because if you look at his record, he's never even gone 10 rounds. So, and that was a 12-round fight. So, you know what I mean? He was trying to pace himself, but he shot himself in the foot a bit. And you could see how upset he was after the decision. He thought he got robbed, kind of thing. So, it's good that they give him the rematch now, hopefully. I'm picking him. Yeah, I'm picking him for the rematch. I think he'll win it more decisive this time. I think he'll win it around 8-4. Because I don't see anyone really knocking out Bika. That guy's just got one of them chins. You know what I mean? He's just pure African, man. He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. Moving on, we got Omar Figueroa on the card as well against Daniel Estrada. Nota, your thoughts?
Yeah, man. That's actually going to be an interesting fight, man, because Estrada can crack himself. And the thing about Figueroa is, even though he has good stamina, because I mean he's obviously able to just volume a guy to death, I think he showed a lot of flaws, especially in his last fight against Jerry Belmontes. Jerry Belmontes just lost to freaking Abner Cotto, and it showed that Belmontes' stamina really wasn't all that great to begin with. So Figueroa just kind of took advantage of a guy who had shoddy stamina in the first place. So Daniel Estrada might be able to really give this dude the business, because I've seen Estrada a couple of times. One of the most notable one was he fought Nihito Arakawa. Of course, the same guy that gave Figueroa hell. And that was kind of a weird fight, because I mean Estrada was dominant, but but Arakawa was it was really dirty between the both of them. Like they were really hitting each other low and all kinds of crazy shit. And it wound up getting stopped because Arakawa elbowed Estrada, and it caused a cut over his eye. So they stopped it, and it became a technical decision. And he won pretty damn clearly. He won almost every round, but I'd say he definitely won more clearly than Figueroa did. So if Figueroa was going to come out there and try to out-volume him, I think he might be in for a rude awakening, because Estrada can crack himself and he has good stamina.
Yeah, I've not seen Estrada, to be honest, before, but Omar Figueroa's confidence is really low at the moment, in my opinion. I think he needs to get a good win just to kind of get him back on track. Otherwise, I think he's going to be another one of these guys that's not going to reach the potential that everyone thought they were going to reach, especially with his hand problems as well,
Yeah, well, and see, the thing is, if he messes up his hands in this fight, he's going to be in serious trouble.
Yeah.
Because this guy hits a lot harder than Arakawa did.
Who you picking, Nota?
Damn. I'm tempted to pick out Estrada in the upset, but I'm not sure, man, because I'm not even certain that he's managed to. You know what? Fuck it. I'm picking Estrada.
By decision.
I'm picking him. Yeah. I don't. Well, the one thing Figueroa does have is a good chin. He does have a good chin, and he does have good recovery. So.
Ski Mask, you said you got to go, so you want to give your take on this fight quickly?
Yeah. I mean, Omar Figueroa got a good chin, but the motherfucker has brittle hands, though.
Yep.
So, I don't know how much faith I have in the guy, man. And I mean, I don't know. We'll see, man. I mean, he just left Joel Diaz, so I just want to see what new tactics he could implement in this fight, and how bad can the new trainer motivate him and push him, So, I don't know. This is kind of like a 50-50 fight for me as of right now, due to the fact of that. And I don't know if he's going to be making weight comfortable, man. Because, doesn't Omar Figueroa have problem making weights? Like, making the weight?
My weight?
Yeah, he's had a lot of problems. He's talked about moving up several times. And, of course, there was that infamous incident where Joel Diaz caught him with a bunch of candy bars under his bed or some shit.
Yo, that'd be like me if I was a boxer. Yeah, I'd have pure chocolate hidden away. I gotta say, man, I'm a bit addicted to chocolate. But yo, Ski Mask Joe, thanks for being on the show, man.
Oh, hold on, man. Let me give my take on the Deontay Wilder one, man.
Go ahead.
Ah, shit, dude. He better win, man. This is some bullshit. If he doesn't, then he just asked himself out of a fucking Stevenson. What is it, Stavern fight, man?
He will win. He's not going to lose to this guy.
I know he's going to win, but Fucking A, man. If he loses, imagine just the fuck. He'll regret that fucking move.
He won't lose, but I'm just getting tired of like the opposition level. Like, fair enough, he's waiting for Stiverne and he wants a title shot, but come on, man, you can't just be fighting these lower level opposition. You need to start fighting decent guys, man. Like, he's got the most padded record in the industry at the moment. Yeah, fair enough, he's got the power and he's knocking dudes out, but come on, fight someone from Eastern Europe, someone that's got a bit of a chin, someone that can give you some rounds, because he's going to be the classic example of the guy that if anyone can take him past 6-7 rounds, he's going to be fucked, because he's never been that far before in a fight.
This motherfucker needs to fight a Neanderthal or some shit.
The only thing though is who could really take that power. I mean,
put him against that
Sergey Lahovich. Lahovich was a world champion in the past, and he knocked him out in the first round.
Yeah, but like
he gave him a seizure and shit, right?
I was gonna say,
don't know.
He's well past his prime, though.
We don't know.
Lahovich was well past his prime, but you make a fair point about the power.
I get that.
Sorry?
Yeah. No, I said I get that, but I was just saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, you make a good point about who can take his power, but there was a fight last week. We quickly touched on it. Rudenko, Eastern European guy, like someone like that, like he would definitely, like, he took some big shots off Lucas Brown, and Lucas Brown's got power. And to be honest, Rudenko like took him easily. Like, he didn't even really flinch from some of those shots. So
you know what? You know who might be a good opponent for Wilder, because this guy can take some shots, because he fought Vlad and took Vlad's shots. Is nah, Mariusz Wach. That dude took some serious power from fucking Vlad, and like
but he was high. He was high on steroids in that fight.
But I don't think he injected those steroids into his chin, though, man.
Yeah, I think he did. He's got a massive chin. You want to see his chin?
Yeah, he has the Jay Leno going on, right?
Yeah.
Yo.
No, that is true. He looks a bit Cro-Magnon in there.
But yo, American guys, like, I want to ask you guys, like, what's the hype with Deontay in America? Is like is the hype real? Is people on the bandwagon?
I would say so. I mean, not a lot of people know about like the big heavyweights in America. They know more like Mayweather, Danny Garcia, Lucas McKay fight.
Yeah. The thing is, they haven't really built Wilder as a main event star. He's been on too many undercards.
I don't think one casual fan knows Deontay Wilder.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have a few World Star types that have seen like his highlights or whatever on there, and like
whoever
thanks
knows
to
him
Broner,
knows
they kind
him,
of
knows him from Charlie Z and then Google.
See, from this side of the pond, I just thought he was a bit more bigger to casual fans, just because of all the, like, if you look at a highlight reel of him, like, he's got his highlight reel probably lasts longer than most of his fights. So
yeah, but he hasn't really been on like, to Nota's point, he hasn't really been showcased on a big card. But it's hard to showcase somebody on a big card who's fighting guys who fought James Toney this year. So I mean, it's tough, and like if he was on a big card, like even like this Danny card as the co-main instead of Lamont, like, more people would see him, but you just don't see him getting any big time slots, and it might be because of the opposition, but I definitely don't know any casual fans who know Deontay Wilder.
Do you guys think this fight with Stiverne will happen, or do you think Don King will find some way to wiggle out of it and have an easier defense?
I think it has to happen.
I think it's going to wind up happening, man.
I think this is kind of like a mandatory, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Well, that and the fact that I think, the WBC is all about money. And when they see when they see Deontay Wilder, they see money. Because, I mean, a guy with that kind of power, big American dude, like, if he goes in there and highlight reels Stiverne, he'll be, casual fans will know him just from that, because, that'll most likely be on ESPN again, because that's the reason why they've been paying for these heavyweight fights to be put on there. And, I mean, that'll put him right on the map right there.
Oh, yeah.
Ari, you want to talk about Wilder or Figueroa?
Wilder's just gonna kill another bum. Cause me and you, we saw Gavern in the prize fight. Remember with Tony?
Yeah.
He was the guy that he was actually quite funny. He was Ric Flair wooing in the ring.
Yeah.
So it's just an easy fight for Wilder because Gavern unfortunately doesn't have power, so he won't be rocking Wilder's chin. He must only take a couple punches, get knocked out in like the second round, and then hopefully we see Stavern, man. You know what I mean? I just want to see Wilder do something, man. Because in my opinion, it's ridiculous that he even become mandatory by fighting bums. Because no way, it really shows you that all you need to be is with Heyman or be connected and you can get yourself a mandatory. Just like kind of like Jacobs as well. He got knocked out by Pirog and then he's beat like 6 bums. No one ranked, but somehow he became mandatory for that fake belt. And then you see Wilder now. They make the Scott fight final eliminator when Malik Scott wasn't even ranked in the top 10 of the WBC at the time. He just got knocked out by Chisora. So how is he? Anyway, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, you all know what I'm talking about. But it's just ridiculous. So hopefully we just get this quick fight out of the way. I don't really want to watch it either. Really, it's just going to be a nice knockout. I'll see you later, and then we see him fight as Tavern, and we see if the hype is truly real. That would be the fight to see it. You know what I mean? So I ain't really got nothing else to say.
Fair enough. Just going back to his opposition, though, this Jason Gavern guy, was this the guy that hurt his arm in the final? Or am I getting mixed up?
Yeah, I think you're right, because I think he lost in the final to Sprott.
Yeah, I think he had damaged his arm and he couldn't throw or something, and then Sprott beat him. I think I might be wrong, to be honest.
Sprott beat him by decision.
Yeah.
He fought Tyson Fury too.
Did he? No, he didn't.
Oh, my bad. I'm thinking of Nikolai Firth. I was thinking of the other guy.
Mansour knocked this guy out last year as well.
First round.
And,
Gavern.
Lucas Brown as well knocked him out 2012. Cunningham beat him. Ustinov, shout out to Ustinov, beat him. Watt beat him.
That's what I'm saying.
He's lost to everyone, really.
This guy's got 25 wins, 11 by knockout, 16 losses, 7 by knockout. Like, Wilder shouldn't be facing guys like this, man. Come on. It's a bit of a joke, really, there.
Well, I mean, I was kind of surprised that they even made this fight. Like, it seemed like it came at short notice. I didn't even realize Wilder was fighting until like.
Yeah, it just come out of nowhere.
I just thought
Gavern wasn't even the main. He wasn't even the first fight. He wasn't. Someone else was supposed to fight him.
So is he not fighting Bermain?
We got Daniel Lim on the line. Dan.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Well, he's going to be fighting this Saturday, man. He's going to be fighting Jason Gavern, and then Bermain's later.
So what? Like in November?
I don't know. They don't have anything signed down yet.
Yo, Dan, Go ahead. Touch on anything on the weekend. Any fights? Any thoughts?
I have no comment about Danny.
But
no comment whatsoever.
Any other fights?
I don't know. I always rated Danny high because the way he handled Lucas. I think Danny's a good fighter. You put him in there with any come forward aggressive fighter, I think he's going to do very well. And I know obviously you can't take away much from that fight on Saturday, but I love the way Danny punches through his target. Like, you guys notice that? Like, he's one of the few fighters that really just extends all the way through. So
that's true.
I really appreciate the way he punches. And yeah, I mean, I think Danny, if he moves up to 147, give him some time. I think he'll be in a lot of 50-50 fights with pretty much, I think, everyone from like top 6 to like top 10. You know what I mean? But I think Thurman, Porter, and those guys are going to beat him. But I still think he's a solid fighter, man. But regarding the Saturday, I think Porter's going to just destroy Brook in less than 4 rounds.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, most of us think that Porter's going to take it.
Yeah, because I'm just worried. Like, how do you think Brook is going to come in at 47?
Yeah, that was something we were talking about. We think he might struggle to make 47 and maybe even have to go back to do the weigh-in, after a couple hours to make it again, maybe. Who's got the background? King J, you need to mute yourself.
Oh shit,
oh shit, my bad. But, Dan, I was thinking about this fight, and I'm personally thinking, no one probably agrees with me, but I think Porter will win, but I think Brook might show a few flaws in Porter's game. I think fighting will be a bit more competitive than everyone's thinking. I think it'll go to points, personally. Or maybe even a Porter late stoppage, maybe like 10th or something like that. But I just think to Kell Brook, this is his in the UK there's a trophy that local teams win called FA Cup, and it's a term used as like this is his cup final. And I think for Brook, like he's talked about being a world champion for so long, I know his resume is really weak, but I think he's going to throw everything into this fight.
Yeah, but I mean, like, doesn't Kell Brook always say stuff like that? Like, wasn't there some kind of story where he said he hired some kind of strength and conditioning coach and he hired a nutritionist and then he looked absolutely gassed in that next fight? Like, pretty positive about that.
I think he hired him after he was a bit chubby and he had that catch weight. I think he hired him afterwards, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah.
Regardless, I mean, he always says stuff like that, you know, and then he never really impresses or shines. So, I don't know, man. I don't think Shawn Porter is, you know, elite level talent, but I still think he's going to get the job done pretty handily. And he does have flaws, but I don't know if Kell Brook. I mean, you think Kell Brook is like he has that type of, you know, strong-willedness to carry him through in the late rounds?
It's like Ari was saying though with Kell, he's not really got inside game, and Porter's so good on the inside. That's my biggest fear for Kell.
Exactly.
I know Kell has a good jab though, so if you can implement it well and just try and keep him on the outside for a few rounds, and then it's going to be difficult.
I mean, I know I roasted Paulie Malignaggi. I've never been a Paulie Malignaggi fan, but he does supposedly have one of the best jabs in the game, right? And look what Porter did, you know.
Yeah, but he has no power on his jab, really.
It doesn't matter, man. People still, that's the one reason why Paulie's been able to be a 2-time champion is because of his jab.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Porter, if you watch Porter train, he bobs and weaves very, very well.
Yeah, like, definitely. And he comes up from, it's actually quite surprising how low he comes up.
Yeah,
he comes from such a low place. I was watching the Alexander fight, and Alexander, for 12 rounds, Alexander just didn't know how to handle it. He was just coming in so low, and then out of nowhere, he's in your face, and he's punching you. He's just ripping you to the body, and you know what I mean? Like, you try to hook him up, and he's still punching you. It's just, it's quite crazy.
I don't know, man. He's skilled, like, just from what I've seen.
Porter?
What up?
Yeah, Porter Nelson, yeah.
Yeah, Porter.
I was gonna say that Porter gave Alexander like flashbacks of Bradley, and I think he's gonna give Kell Brook flashbacks of Carson Jones, only a lot more brutally.
Yeah, Carson Jones is a bum, so hopefully Porter does better. But I don't know, man. I can't. I'm excited for the fight personally, but I don't know, man. It doesn't really do much for Porter, in my opinion, if he wins impressively at that. So,
and you got any thoughts on the Bika Dirrell rematch, Dan?
No, I mean, I just think it's going to be another barn burner, another fun fight. I can't wait. But I'm personally most excited for the BKB fight between Rosado and Vera.
Oh, you paid for it, Daniel?
You must be trolling. You must be trolling.
No, I'm serious. I'm
of course he's gonna pay for it, man. Why would you steal that? I mean, that's BKB.
Yeah.
The fuck?
It's worth every cent. Worth every cent.
I think so. I think it's really impressive, and it's like groundbreaking in my opinion what they're doing with that sport. So I'm really excited for that. It's you know, the ring is innovative, and their marketing plans are absolutely incredible. So, and they're also showcasing two of the most, you know, talented fighters in our era. So, you know, you can't dispute that. I mean, Brian Vera is an absolute beast at 160, and Rosado has some of the best skin in boxing as well. So,
yeah, man, Rosado, man, AK. The most robbed guy in the sport.
The King Gabe, man.
His name is King Gabe.
Uncrowned champ, man.
AKA Thin
Yo, this
Skin.
dude is still on Twitter calling people out like he's a contender. Like, yo, people are scared of him. Like he's a name. Like, it might be the most delusional man in boxing right now.
Well, I don't know. Vera was pretty competitive with him, though. Last week when he was talking shit about Brandon Rios calling him a fat ass. Like, wait, didn't you lose to the ultimate fat ass in Chavez Jr.? The guy that was training on weed and Fruit Loops?
I don't know, man. It's just the current state of boxing is a poor state of affairs. I'll tell you that much. It's embarrassing what we have to look forward to, man. Like, honestly, I haven't really even been watching that much, to tell you the truth. Like, you know, it's sad. I mean, I'm most excited for that UFC fight between Jones and Cormier. I haven't really even been keeping up with boxing that much.
There was a good. We mentioned it earlier. There was a good card of Mike Tyson, Iron Mike Promotions card.
Yeah,
and,
I heard that was good.
Yeah, it was really good.
I'll have to watch that.
Yeah,
but all right, guys. I'm on my lunch break right now, so I gotta head out. But good luck with the rest of the show.
All right, Dan. Thanks a lot. Take it easy.
Right,
Peace, Slim.
Peace.
Really, we've not got much else to talk about. There is one big fight.
I'm pretty sure the a couple of those other fights might be on Show Extreme though, because I know that undercard it's got Jorge Linares on it, and it's got Dominic Brazil on it, and Luke Campbell.
Yeah.
I'm sure Luke Campbell will probably be televised for you guys over in the UK.
I don't know, because I'm thinking that fight might be on early, so maybe they record it and play it at the start of the broadcast, just because it's Luke.
Yeah.
But I think the broadcast here is starting like 1:30 in the morning or 2 o'clock or something like that. So maybe they just quickly play that and then get into the undercard, because it is a great card really for like after a year of a lot of shit fights. This is I'm looking forward to Saturday. Like the worst thing is though, I can see Kell Brook getting injured on Friday at the weigh-in. It's like tripping over the scale or something.
He tries on the gloves and breaks his hand.
Yeah, just ruins everyone's weekend by getting injured. But there's a fight in Germany with the cruiserweight Pablo Hernandez. He's fighting Fiat Aslan, defending his IBF belt. Fiat Aslan's coming off a win, like a tune-up win, after his knockout loss to Marco Huck. To be honest, he's decent. He's got a decent chin, but Hernandez should take this quite easily.
Prime,
yeah, he's past his prime. Hernandez should take this quite easily. I'm still looking forward to it though, because I've been one of the guys that always criticised the cruiserweight division, but in the last year or so I've tried to pay a bit more attention to it, and there are some really good boxers in the cruiserweight division, so it's a division that I'm trying to concentrate on more. And also like the smaller guys, I know I joke about it, but people like Chocolatito, those guys can fight, man, so I'm trying to vary my taste and watch smaller guys.
Next month, within a 1 week span, there's going to be 3 major fights at flyweight. It's 3, like pretty much every title is on the line within that entire week. Estrada's defending his belt against Segura. Runrang's defending his belt against McWilliams Arroyo, the guy that was on Fox Sports 1 a few months ago, and Yagashi's defending his belt against Chocolatito. So it's all within the span of like 5 days.
Is the Chocolatito fight in Japan?
Yeah, he's fighting Akira Yagashi right there in Japan. He's fought in Japan a number of times.
I was going to say his last one was in Japan as well. He's kind of like building a bit of rep in Japan.
Well, he's already built a rep in Japan. Like most of his highlight reels and stuff, like they love him over there because like he started off with taking promotions like all the way back when Edwin Valero was still like the big time dude over there. And he was on like Valero's undercards and stuff, and so like he's almost kind of like Ricardo Lopez back in the 90s, where he was like the foreign guy that was just such a badass that like the Japanese took a liking to him just because he was so like proficient, and he was just annihilating all the hometown guys basically. So they couldn't help but have to, like he was almost like kind of a love-hate type guy. Some people loved him because he was just so awesome, and then some people hated him because he was just crushing all the guys from Japan.
Yeah. Ari, have you got any thoughts about Hernandez or Arslan or Chocolatito or any of the smaller dudes?
Nope. But we'll look out for... is Chocolatito, is he Roman Gonzalez, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, I'll look out for him because he looks like the best in them low weights. I'll call him the best in the midgets. So.
Well, it's him and Estrada, man. If you watch that first Estrada fight, Estrada was given the hardest fight of his career, and since then Estrada's he beat Valoria and he beat Melindo, and he's been running shit at flyweight. So
how long ago was that fight?
It was on it was when Valoria fought Tyson Marquez, so it was about 2 years ago. So I mean, once they have that rematch, man, that'll be real right, because the thing is Estrada was only like 22 or 21 when that first fight happened.
And is Estrada undefeated since then?
Yeah, okay. He became the unified flyweight champion since then. He's had better opposition than Gonzalez has since then. Yeah, so you think we'll see that soon, the rematch? I think eventually, because the thing is they were building in Japan for a rematch between either Yagashi and Ioka, or for Gonzalez and Ioka to fight in a mega fight over there, because Ioka had beat Yagashi a couple years ago, and that was a mega fight in Japan. between those two. So since Ioka just lost to Ruin Ring, that pretty much scrapped that whole thing. So if Gonzalez beats Yagashi, he'll be like the main dog over there. So that'll make the Estrada fight a lot more lucrative because he'll be his chief rival at flyweight.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that has a much better chance of happening now.
You're saying there's some news in Denmark?
What'd you say?
You said in the chat there's some news in Denmark.
Oh yeah, apparently Kessler and Ward is close. Kessler Ward Part 2. Quite surprising, come out of nowhere. Apparently for November.
Really?
What about Ward's legal issues though?
Maybe he's just saying fuck it, let me try and end this contract by actually fighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think there's any proper legit sources yet, but that's the word right now.
I don't know. I can't really see this happening, especially him leaving America and going to Denmark.
Yeah, and I will be very surprised if Kessler wanted his combat fight to be versus Ward in his hometown, because you know what I mean, he's just going to get beat up in front of his public, and then that might be the end of him. Yeah, I thought he'd want because he hasn't fought since Froch, so I thought he'd want like a kind of, you know what I mean, an easy fight and then look for a belt. Because the word was he was actually maybe going to fight the girl even in October, so in London. So I'm surprised now we're hearing maybe Ward. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Shout out to Jas in the chat. He said it's going to happen, but Jas, I just can't see it. Like, if Kessler's going to come back, he needs a bit of a tune-up. He's been out the range for a long time, so jumping in straight with Ward, I don't think that's a good idea personally. Yeah.
I mean, Kessler's enough of a draw. You wouldn't imagine he would make that type of a decision, but who knows?
Yo, King J, you ready to talk?
What's good? Did you guys touch up on Ishe Smith there, or am I late on that?
King J, you sound like you're in a bathtub.
I said, did you guys touch up on Ishe Smith yet, or what? A little late on that.
No,
man. Fill us in on.
You guys probably, knowing you guys and how you guys love Ishe Smith, you guys probably burned up the first half hour of the show, right?
No, 45 minutes.
Oh yeah, man. Brilliance. Just sheer brilliance in the ring, man. There's never going to be another Ishe Smith.
Well, let's fucking hope not, right? No, but I'm fucking around, man. Hey, this war shit, man. I was reading about that shit earlier, that the fight might be almost done in Denmark, but I don't even really know why the fuck he keeps doing this legal issue shit, man. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't really think even if his contract's over, like a lot of fucking big promoters are gonna want to fight over Ward, you know, because they know he does shitty numbers. Like, he's a good boxer, man, but he does shitty numbers. It's not like he's gonna leave there and Al Heyman's gonna give him a fucking big ass $1 million contract, you know.
Well, he does good in his hometown, and I mean his ratings have never been that bad. I mean he did pretty good ratings with Delvin. I mean, and yeah, it was fucking Delvin.
but as far as I'm saying, like, he's trying to build himself like into a superstar, you know, numbers, and I don't think he's ever gonna get that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, so I think his main problem is he's kind of expected it, as though like he just didn't have to do anything. Like, oh well, I'm the unified champ now, so just, you know, praise me and give me all your fucking riches, you know. But it doesn't work like that. You got to go out and sell yourself and let people know that you're the man. But he didn't really do that.
Yeah,
I know Mayweather talked really highly about him though, so I could imagine if and when he gets out of that contract, Floyd going after him to sign him to his promotional company.
And then he would be. No, go ahead. My bad. No.
I was gonna say he would be like definitely the most quality fighter that Mayweather has on his roster by far.
Oh, I don't know, man. JV on.
Does anybody think Ward's ego is really gonna allow him to travel to Denmark?
No, fuck yeah, he has no other choice. I think he's starting to see, man, that the fans are getting tired of this. Like, even like, I don't know what the fuck situation is, but quite frankly, at this point, I don't give a fuck no more, you know. Because
I'm pretty sure the situation is pretty much he's at the will of Goosen, and so like now he just has to pretty much like just do whatever he says in order to get out of the contract, because apparently the way his contract is written, it's such that his managers aren't in the same like negotiating room with Goosen when the contracts are being negotiated. So it's like Dan and what's his name, Jay Prince, pretty much have full control. So it's between them two on what Ward does. It's not really up to Ward. So,
I don't know. Ward's the guy who traveled nowhere during the Super 6. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Unless they're paying him,
because...
a shit ton of money, I don't see him going over to Denver. I don't know if there's a plane big enough to carry Andre Ward's ego. I don't know if he can commute.
Hey, he might have to pay some fucking extra money, right? Like when you got heavy luggage, Kev.
Yeah, some extra carry-on fee and shit.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he had a passport.
Man, for real, right?
Yeah, he has to get his passport made first.
Nah, man, but yeah, dude, I don't even give a fuck about it no more, man. Like at the beginning, I was like, damn, well, you know, if he's getting fucked over, it's kind of bad. But then it's got to the point where, dude, he's letting these fucking years go by. Like, I know it's not years, but it seems like that. Like, he could have had so many fights by now, you know, like to make his name even bigger and shit. But
he's not getting fucked over. He lost in court multiple times for a reason. It's because he has no case.
And he's going at it again, so I don't understand, dude. Like didn't they just talk about some shit about him soon goosing again for some other shit?
Nah, I haven't heard nothing.
For the Muhammad Ali rights?
Well,
yeah,
I
think it was
heard
for the
that
Muhammad
months
Ali.
ago, but the thing is, he doesn't have a case with when it comes to that.
And Goosen keeps countersuing him, and Goosen keeps winning the countersues.
Yeah. Because the whole
I'm
thing
saying,
is, the reason why Goosen has him signed is because he bought out his contract from Roy Jones. So whatever Roy Jones signed him to, he has to abide by that.
Roy Jones?
Yeah, Roy Jones was Ward's
that square promoter. Ring or whatever the fuck it was.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Y'all must have forgot.
We should play that as an intro.
That was a good one.
You figure you're like, you know, fuck it. You're in you get fucked situation. Just fucking fight. Try to work some shit out with Goosen. You know, be like, hey, you know, whatever the fuck we did, let that shit behind us. Let's try to work together or some shit. Like you're fucked either way.
I mean, kind of look at what Rigondeaux did. Eventually, he just said, well, fuck it. I'm just gonna, you know, just run this bitch out.
Yeah.
I mean, with Rigondeaux, it was clear that Caribe was pretty much fucking him over with Top
Just
Rank.
like Ringside Rob said.
I'm
trolling out here. But you got to remember, Andre Ward, like his last fight, didn't he make like $2 million and Rodriguez made $1 million? Like, so you know he's sitting pretty, he's sitting comfortable. He don't look like a guy who's like Adrian Broner who's wasting his money and spending his money all over the place. So I'm pretty sure you know he's not hurting for money where he you know I don't know. I believe this fight happens when there's an official announcement.
Yo, L Dude, shout out to L Dude in the chat. He made a comment saying, "Ward, SOG, son of Goosen."
Well, see, it's the funny thing is his inactivity is lowering his value now.
Yeah.
So if and when he ever becomes a free agent, his value is now going to be lowered. And
you fucking nailed it. Now that's exactly what I was trying to get at. That was exactly what I was trying to get at. You nailed it, dude. It's fucking. It's like the same example you just said. Look at Rigondeaux. He's just like, fuck it, started knocking people out. His stock went up more because before nobody even gave a fuck about him. You know, so if Ward was to do that shit and just fight, you know, fucking get him out the way, they fight over him when his contract's over. But I think right now no one would really give a fuck.
Yeah, and there's nobody really left at 168 for him. And 175 is going to be in the process of cleaning each other out. So by the time he's ready to come back, you know, his weight classes are pretty much going to be void of, you know, big fights, you know, because they're all going to clean each other out.
Yeah, I mean, shit, if I was Ward, I'd just fight whoever. I mean, like, if you're going to just fight at 168, just fight a bunch of fights. Just, like, fight one fight a month or something, you know, every 2 months. Just fight a bunch of, like, guys ranked, like, 13th and 14th or whatever.
Yeah.
Or number 77.
Yeah, that too.
But yo, King J, what's your picks for Saturday?
Oh man, I'm gonna go with my boy, Kell Brook, baby. Going with Kelly.
You joking or you being serious?
Nah, I'm not joking. I'm being fucking dead serious. I'm taking Kell Brook, man. You know why I'm taking Kell Brook, man? Because I've been studying him, man, and he's doing the same shit that my boy King Cobra did with Groves. Didn't even look at him. Stayed quiet. Everybody thought he was gonna get his ass whooped, and bam, knocked the fuck out, my man.
I want to go for Brook, man, but I don't know. Like, Porter seems a beast lately, man. It's hard for me to pick Brook. Plus, I don't even like Brook, to be honest, but just because Ari says, like, repping your flag and stuff, just because he's British and I'd like him to win, but it's going to be a difficult task over there to go to the StubHub.
I mean, now, all serious aside, man, I do want Brook to win, man. Just because, I don't know, I don't like the shit that they've been doing with Porter lately. Like, it's starting to turn, like, into his Angel Garcia shit with Ken Porter, and I'm not cool with any of that dumbass shit.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. But I think I was watching some Brook shit, man. I think he's being a little underestimated, man. He does have power, man.
It's just his resume, though, King J. He's not really fought, like, A-class people. But what's your thoughts on the Dirrell Bika rematch?
Man, I think this is going to be a good fight. I think, it should be pretty exciting. Who did most of you guys take on that?
I'm going with Dirrell.
Yeah, it's a bit split. I'm actually going to go for Bika. I think Bika will fight a bit better this fight.
Yeah, I think I'll go with I think I'll go with Bika on that one. But I think this fight's going to be good, man. I don't think it's going to end as soon as everybody's talking about that fucking Porter in less than 4 or in less than 5. I don't think it's going to be that quick, man. I don't know, man. Kell Brook is just, he's naturally fucking big, man.
Yeah. Both of them are actually big.
If Porter knocked him out that quick, that would be some impressive ass shit.
That'd be some fucking impressive ass shit. If he does that shit, man, then they better check him for steroids, man, because that's gonna be fucking nuts, man.
They better check him every week.
Hey, you know what? If he knocks him out in one round, then you know what I'm saying, my boy Salka is gonna be like, yeah, what's up? At least I made it in 2.
No. If he knocks him out in one round, then Paulie's gonna just bug the fuck out, man, on live TV.
You already know Paulie's gonna be salty on the comms, on the commentary.
Oh man, I could just fucking hear him already. You know, yeah, we've been watching Porter for a long time, and he's come a long way. He's a great champion. All this other bullshit, right?
Yo, Dave made a funny joke after the Salka Garcia fight. He said, yo, Braun is probably eyeing up Salka now just to kind of get an impressive knockout on his resume.
Broner was in camp sparring both of the Petersons, so I mean, it's almost like he scored 2 knockouts in one night.
I'm sure you stole that from a meme. Did you steal that from a meme? I'm sure you stole that. But King J, any final thoughts before we end the show? King J? I think Jay's got a bad line.
Kell Brook knocks Porter out. Do you think Malignaggi will take the steroid route?
Well, I've heard some accusations that he already had, man. But I don't have any proof of that.
Paulie has to be a bit careful now with the stuff he says, just because he's working for these big organizations. You know, he has to kind of watch his words, I think.
I don't know, man. Well, and then last thing, man, I don't know. The thing that made me just want to go for Brook, even though I know I know Porter, he's a better boxer, man. But the thing that made me go for Brook more was just the shit talking Ken Porter was doing, man. Like I thought that shit was out of line. Like he wasn't even like this 2 fights ago, you know. Like he's talking too much out of his ass, man. Like the whole time they were sparring and he fucking knocked his watch out. Oh shit! Look at that. It's real. The power is fucking real. You see this?
He's definitely feeding himself right now.
Fucking snap on watch, man.
He broke his fucking swatch.
Yeah, I kind of want Brook to win a bit so they can get humbled a bit, because like Porter's come out of nowhere, and like Ari was saying earlier, before like the Diaz fights, like since then he's done really good, but before then he was nothing special. Like he's only blown up overnight in 2 fights, really. So.
But this happens sometimes, Cam. I really think this is it happens with pro athletes, especially in boxing, where people something just clicks and they hit their stride. Like, you know, it all comes together.
Well, I mean,
if you look,
if you look at his style, I mean, his style is totally different now. The problem, I think, one of his biggest issues was because he was used to fighting at 165 as an amateur and 160 and 154 as a pro and all that shit. He was used to fighting these like tall guys. He was used to fighting these guys Dirrell size, man. Yeah, he used to fight guys Dirrell size. So I mean, he would have to box with him. And so like when you're trying to box with like a guy that can actually box, like Julio Diaz, for instance, you know, that's not really going to work very well. But if you go in there and you freaking really put your body on him, you put some pressure on him, you try to to really hammer him down, that's a whole different story. Because I mean, Porter is a physical beast at that weight class. You know, he's not the type of guy that's really like gonna out finesse you. He's the type of guy that's gonna go and take your fucking
muscle
soul.
him down.
Yeah.
And I think it took him a while to really hit his comfort zone with this 147, and it was a gradual move, and I think it's all a product of that same product. And I don't know, I think Shawn is staying humble. I think it's mostly Ken that's fired up, and I don't think it's Shawn, which is why I think, you know, he's staying focused and head to the ground. So I don't think that's going to affect the fight, because I think it's more Ken just popping shit, and Shawn, like you said, Cam, that one video we were watching, Shawn was actually telling his pops, yo, just chill, man, relax. Like, you know, you could tell he wants no part of that.
Yeah. Shawn does look like a humble dude, to be honest. That's one thing, his personality-wise, he does seem like a humble guy.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you that especially what pissed me off was when they were talking shit to Kell Brook, like, oh, you took your 10 years and all this other bullshit. Like, I don't even think 10 years is a long time if you start from fucking zero.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you fucking just blowing shit out of proportion. And I was just like, God, what a fucking dick face.
No, Brook did start young. He was 18. He didn't stick around the amateurs. He went straight to the pros. So, I don't know. But he's here now anyway, you know what I mean? He's here now, so.
Yep. But
different guys take different routes.
I think it's gonna be one of two things, man. Either Brook is just staying quiet, man, because he actually like, fuck, I'm gonna lose, but fuck, I'm gonna try my best, or he's staying quiet because he actually does have like some sort of good fucking game plan for this guy.
Like quiet confidence almost.
Yeah, like confidence, you know, like, let him talk, and once we're in.
I mean, is he really that much of a talker?
No, he doesn't really chat shit. The only person he really talks up is against Khan.
Trying to compare it to the whole Fletch Groves thing, like, seems a bit like out of place. Because I mean, Fletch and Groves are both the guys that talk all kinds of shit. That's like saying like, like Timothy Bradley's not talking shit. Like, well, he doesn't. Like, that's not what he does.
Well, he started to on that Pacquiao too, and shit like that in the face-off. Yeah. He came out of pocket.
Well, I mean, there was some history there. So,
but
in general,
on my final thoughts before I get out of here and let you guys finish is I just think this is a great card. I think there's two good fights, and I feel like if Porter comes out and is as dominant against Brook as he is against Porter, that you know, as he was against Malignaggi, that I'm really interested to see where his career goes next, because, you know, I would like to see him, if he can't get a Thurman fight or a Floyd fight, maybe he's the guy who goes to the other side and does a Hopkins and fights an HBO guy, because I know, you know, he's not, I don't know. I just think it's a big swing fight, and I think the undercard is a great fight to see, you know, a future opponent for other guys as well. So I don't know. I'm really pumped for this. As upset I was about last week's card, I'm just as pumped for this card. So
yeah,
I think it'll be a great week of fighting.
Same here. I'm totally looking forward to this fight. But yo, Kevin, thanks for calling in. Any final thoughts, Ari or Nota or King J?
Yeah. I just want to say before I leave, man, almost the same shit as Kevin, but I don't even give a fuck if it's the last 6 rounds for either guy, as long as we see some good ass fucking action, you know, which I think we are, man, because even though it doesn't have a good build up, man, you can tell there's some fucking tension, man.
Yeah.
So I just hope it's a real fucking good fight, man. And fuck, thank God we have this week, because thank God the soccer shit is fucking over.
Yeah. I know it's a good week in boxing on a Saturday when I'm looking forward to it on a Monday. Like, I just want this week to go by quick, so Saturday night's here and I can watch this fight, because I'm so looking forward to this fight and this card as well, but more the fight. Like, really looking forward to this fight. And also, like, at the moment I rate Thurman above Porter, but if Porter goes in there and destroys Kell Brook, then like, I've got to put Porter above Thurman, because like, even though Kell Brook's a bit untested, like, if he gets destroyed, then Porter is the truth, man. He's gonna climb the ladder quite high, in my opinion.
So let me ask you this, Cam. So what if Brook destroys Porter?
That's a good question, King J. That's a good question. I personally can't see it happening, but if he does, then it shows that like Kell Brook has been very underrated, and he could have went on a harder path.
Do you think his career takes off from here?
It's difficult though, King J, because he's not that young anymore. You know, like I think he's either 30 or 31. So yeah.
Well, with Brook, I think if he even just gets the win, regardless, I mean, him and Khan will be a big fight in the UK, and then from there, I mean, either one of them will be a big name against like the Mayweathers or the Pacquiaos of the world, or whatever.
No, I apologise. He's 28, but yeah, that Khan fight in the UK, King J, that would be absolutely massive in the UK.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I think that if regardless whether he fucking wins or loses against fucking Shawn Porter, a fight against Khan in fucking Wembley Stadium is still a fucking big fight. Whatever happens on Saturday, doesn't matter.
I don't think it would sell out Wembley, to be honest, because Fletcher and Groves, they like, especially Fletcher, he's a bit of a household name, and Groves built up that fight so much with all the shit talking. But it would definitely fill maybe a football stadium that's maybe like 40,000, 50,000 capacity, something like that. It would definitely fill that. Like where I live in Manchester, there's two big stadiums. There's the Manchester City Stadium, which is about 40,000, and then the Manchester United Stadium, which is about 70 something. So I think it'd probably fill up the City Stadium. I don't think it would fill up the United Stadium, but definitely a massive fight in the UK.
That's all I got, guys. Good talking to you fellas, and let's go. Team Brook, man. Team Brook.
Team Brook. Roos has just called in last minute. Roos!
Yo, what's happening, people?
Yo, Roos, we're about to end this show soon, so any thoughts you got? Either Danny card on Saturday or the Brook Porter fight on this coming Saturday. Go ahead.
Well, Danny, I was impressed with the power. I don't really know how much you guys have mentioned that, so I don't want to regurgitate people's thoughts. But I know he fought a bum, but I like the way he got rid of the bum, the manner he did. I was very impressed by that. In terms of Brook Porter, making my pick right now, I made my pick from way back. I think for me is Porter all the way. Stoppage, devastation. Yeah, that's me.
Porter devastation.
Yeah, he's gonna devastate Brook.
You're not gonna do a Harry and rep your flag?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think he's got it, man. I don't think Kell is got it against Porter. Porter is just. You just be pouncing on him, and he's a decent boxer. No way Brook is gonna win this.
Yeah, I can't talk shit, to be honest, because I'm picking Brook as well. So no, sorry, I'm picking Porter as well. So anything else, Roos, before we go?
No, that's it, man.
All right, thanks, Roos. A quick chat room roll call. Mao Alpha, Casual Fan, Flowmobot, me, Monocle 78, Ari Gold Boss, Z334, Killer Shan, Start of Paragon, English Bum, Nota, Henry Lyles, The 17, Jas, El Dude, JY, AJN83, Broner's Brush, shout out to Broner's Brush, Captain Jack, Troy, Third Grill, and a guest. Thanks to everyone that phoned up today: Dave the Sinister, Mount Alpha, Roos, Nota, King J, Kevin, Black Ski Mask Joe. I've been your host, Cam. Tune in next week. Peace.
You just listened to the Boxing Coalition.
I did. Man, I love boxing. I fucking love boxing.
A big shout out to the Boxing Coalition.
Kimo got this Boxing Coalition shit going on.
Who the fuck is Ringside Rob?
I'm Ringside Robert, guys.
If you're a casual fan, go fuck yourself, man.
Daniel, don't take the backseat of the car while you're driving though. That can be dangerous.
First time I hear the song, man, it was fucking badass.
Vamos a Argentina, la concha de su madre.
I see the bomb in them.
You can't come at the Lebanese prince.
Hey, I'm the Arab prince, motherfucker, so I can talk whatever I want, yeah?
I'm never surprised with anything Bob Arum says. I just hope he dies, son.
Do you want to be entertained or you want to see the best fight?
Both.
Yeah,
oh, shit, you just want it all, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, that's what casual fans want.
Fuck you, man.
You used all your bandwidth this month on the Boxing Coalition. That's what that was.
Hey, come on, man. Don't be jealous, man.
I'm jealous, man. I'm jealous. Fuck that shit. I'm jealous.
How about you tell us what you ate for your final thoughts?
My weight?
Thank you for listening to the Boxing Coalition. We are live every Monday, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. UK time, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern.